Hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks for being here as always. Zelda, thanks for joining. Hope you're having a good weekend. What is new with you?
Hey Steve, having a good weekend. How about
Doing all
you?
right, man. Thank you. What's new in your world?
Not much. Headed back home from Arlington, Virginia.
Oh yeah, hope you don't have too long of a drive. Go ahead and give a welcome here. Michael Garber, good to see you. Hyperbeam, CWP, EGC Mike, Money, EGC Mike, Will, Jordovic, Taximan, Sax, Rick G, and Alien. And I see Shaw06EC, Miles Williams, and who else we got here? Sakaro23. Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. Thanks for sharing your weekend here with the EGC fam. We'll go ahead and get rolling here, and hopefully we'll get joined by the likes of Cody or Rocket or maybe some other members of the team. We'll have to see. Maybe Paul might be having a nap, so it's hard to tell. But yeah, welcome to space number 51. You know it. We talk about EverGrow, LunaSky, NFT Marketplace, Lucro, Atlas Wallet, and of course, Lucro Games. It's a pleasure to have you all today. Thank you so much for being here. CWP, I'm just going to give you a mic here if you want to come up by any means. It's been a busy one, that's for sure. So we'll go right into the news if you like. This one gave me a little bit of a warm, fuzzy feeling. CWP, how you doing? Give you a minute to connect there.
I'm doing fine, except for having terrible connection issues. Um, my download speed is bouncing from like as high as 400 megabits down to 0 point something.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
No, my stupid phone is jumping from tower to tower.
Ah,
There are 9 towers around me, and it keeps searching for a better signal. So I have no idea what it's going to do. So if I go bye-bye, you'll know why.
okay. Thanks for the heads up. I appreciate it. So like I said, we'll go ahead and get rolling right into the news. This one, like I said, gave me a nice little warm, fuzzy feeling when I read this one. So this one's the Associated Press by Larry Newmeister. The judge has sent FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried to jail, says crypto mogul tampered with witnesses. Why would you do something like that? So yeah, at a New York AP, the FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried left a federal courtroom in handcuffs on Friday when a judge revoked his bail after concluding that the fallen cryptocurrency whiz had repeatedly tried to influence witnesses against him. Bankman-Fried dropped his head as Judge Lewis A. Kaplan explained at length why he believed the California man had repeatedly pushed the boundaries of his $250 million bail package to a point that Kaplan could no longer ensue protection of the community, including prosecutors' witnesses, unless the 31-year-old was behind bars. After the hearing ended, Bankman-Fried took off his suit jacket and tie, turned in his watch and other personal belongings over to his lawyers. The clanging of handcuffs could be heard as hands were cuffed in front of him. He was then led out of the courtroom by U.S. Marshals. It was a spectacular fall for a man whose prosecutors said portrayed himself as a savior of the cryptocurrency industry, as he testified before Congress and hired celebrities including Larry David, Tom Brady, Steph Curry to promote his business. Prosecutors said Bankman-Fried stole billions of dollars in FTX customer deposits to fund his business and speculative venture investments, made charitable donations, spent tens of millions of dollars on illegal campaign donations to Democrats and Republicans in an attempt to buy influence over cryptocurrency regulation in Washington. Kaplan said there was a probable cause to believe that Bankman-Fried had tried to tamper with witnesses at least twice since his December arrest, most recently by showing a journalist the private writings of a former girlfriend and key witness against him in January when he reached out to FTX general counsel with an encrypted communication. The judge said he concluded that there was probability that Bankman-Fried had tried to influence both anticipated trial witnesses and quite likely others whose names we don't even know to get them to back off to have them hedge their cooperation with the government. The incarceration order signed by the Judge Kaplan found probable cause to believe Bankman-Fried had committed the federal crime of attempted witness tampering. The judge said he concluded there was probability that Bankman-Fried had tried to influence both. Sorry, I repeated myself a little bit there. You can find the rest of the article over on the Associated Press. Like I said, I kind of saw this coming a little bit in the sense that there was kind of rumors that he was doing this anyway. CWP, I was kind of curious. Did you see that article from Cathie Wood about ARK's 21 share Bitcoin ETF application?
No, I didn't. Do you have it there? I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, it was just, I'll give you just the synopsis here. So I didn't realize that they had applied for an ETF with the SEC, and it was pushed out by the SEC for a later time. So that's not unusual for them. They usually kick the can down the road. Cathie's pretty bullish on BTC, and she's made like predictions that BTC will reach $1 million or higher. So it's interesting that she's going all in on this.
The SEC is not really keeping it going. It's just pausing and delaying. They've extended their review of the ARK 21 shares Bitcoin ETF application as it continues to look at spot Bitcoin ETF applications from TradFi heavyweights like BlackRock and Fidelity. ARK Investment Management and 21 shares have been looking for an ETF approval since 2021. Can you believe it? All those years ago now when it made its first ETF application, which was followed by another one earlier this year. I'm going to kick this one off to you. I think there was a lot of chatter about a potential ETF application approval. There is still a chance that we get an ETF app approval, but these extensions keep coming. What do you make of this?
Same story, different year, different date,
Different
same
day.
story. Yeah, it just keeps happening. I mean, there's a lot of ETFs out there for Bitcoin right now. There's like the Invesco one with Galaxy Digital. There's the BlackRock one, which really kind of got the ball rolling again. And then we have this 21 shares one, which has been outstanding for quite a while. Like, you could name like 3 or 4 others, right? So what are they going after? Well, they're going after this retail crowd that has brokerage exchanges. They can like log into Schwab or log into Fidelity, and then they can go purchase Bitcoin through an ETF product. And that would really open up the doors of adoption and be a quite lucrative business for a lot of people who are in the ETF game, because they get a little bit of the bips for every time you buy and sell one of these things, which is really nice. Why is the SEC continuing to delay this? Well, the rationale a few years ago was market manipulation is pretty rampant within crypto, and that a lot of the numbers were fake, right? So think of like trading volumes. There's a lot of wash trading within crypto. And then even like the more reputable exchanges out there, like the Coinbases of the world, well, I mean, they're getting sued, and we don't really know if we like these markets. And also Coinbase is interacting with the larger crypto market. Well, that kind of makes the numbers on Coinbase a little suspect. So there's a lot of thoughts around like why this can't happen. But I think with BlackRock piling in and with a bunch of other people re-upping their ETF hopes, there's this idea that maybe now is the time. Maybe now we have enough information about these markets. The key thing with the recent filings, of course, was the surveillance agreement, where there was an agreement between the ETF and the exchanges and then NASDAQ to be able to look at all the numbers and look under the decks and see if there was market manipulation in any sort of way. And that the thought was like maybe that will get it across the finish line. And a lot of people have put good numbers on those bets. Zach?
Yeah, I hate to be like the political conspiracy guy, but this does kind of feel like an entirely political calculation at this point, right? So SEC Chair Gary Gensler has long been against a lot of these vehicles and long been for alleged consumer protection. And I think there's been a lot of speculation in the space that maybe this is the avenue in which Gary sort of yields a little bit, right? He's going real hard on all these unregistered securities issuers. He's going real hard on all the crypto exchanges. Maybe we'll throw the most TradFi, Wall Street friendly product, a Bitcoin spot ETF. That's probably the most friendly of the bunch. Maybe we'll give that one our blessing, right? And maybe sort of it'll change sort of the overall political calculus and perception of Gary Gensler's views on crypto. And I think these delays and these subsequent delays just add a lot of fuel to that fire, right? Add a lot of suspicion that this is indeed a political calculation as to when it will be most useful timing-wise to maybe finally say, okay, we have a Bitcoin futures ETF. Let's do a spot Bitcoin ETF. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, it's still based on the same markets. Let's just get this thing over with, right? So I don't know. Like the behind the scenes stuff, the political calculation stuff, kind of feels like the story at this point. I don't know. We're going to have to ask those like Bloomberg ETF guys, like what their odds are now, because they were all like 60-40 yes and like,
Yeah.
whatever. Who knows? It's all procedural anyway. But Will, what do you think?
I want to add one quote, which was in the CoinDesk article. This is from Scott Farnan, who's legal counsel at consumer advocacy group Better Market, saying, quote, "The spot Bitcoin markets have, one, a history of artificially inflated trading volumes due to rampant manipulation and wash trading, and two, are highly concentrated, and three, rely on a select group of individuals and entities to maintain Bitcoin's network." Now, 1 and 2 kind of seem similar to the things we've seen in the past, like an echoing of all the thoughts that Gary Gensler and others have had against it. The third one's a little interesting, kind of talking about like how Bitcoin works, and maybe there's something along those lines that people are still just like trying to learn about. But in whole, Zach, like I kind of view the comment from Scott Farnan here as like being incorrect. Like I think what you're saying makes a little more sense. It does seem like there's a lot of political agitation or political angling here that's not working out for us Bitcoiners. Jen?
Yeah, I remember when the SEC responded to BlackRock and the subsequent applications. And I said, and I think, Zach, you agreed with me, that at least they're responding and they're saying, you know, what maybe needs to be fixed and what we should focus on here. And then everyone came out with a surveillance sharing agreement with Coinbase, and now we are delayed. It just feels like deja vu. Almost every story we talk about, it's like push and pull and push and pull, and we're stuck in this in between. But I do remain bullish just by the fact that BlackRock has thrown their hat into the race here. I want to point out Matrix Port article that was on CoinDesk this morning that said they believe that when there is an ETF approval, there will be a flurry of subsequent approvals afterwards that will kind of get us out of this holding pattern that we've seen in the Bitcoin market. And I also have to remain bullish on this whole ETF saga because we already have one in Canada, and I wish the best, and I hope that you too in the US can experience
This other article was from a Bitcoin Suisse CEO from a Forbes article, and it writes, "The next bull market is coming, and we will be ready." This was written by Martin Leo Rivers. So Bitcoin Suisse is preparing for the next bull run by reinventing itself as a fully fledged crypto asset manager and wealth advisory firm that caters to an emerging breed of ultra high net worth individuals and crypto curious institutions. The strategy involves complex efforts by the Digital Asset Gateway to secure a license from the Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority, or FINMA, Switzerland's financial regulator, as well as expanding operations into the European Union, United Kingdom, and the UAE. It's being led by Chief Executive Dirk Klee, a banking veteran who previously steered the wealth management and investment division at Barclays. Speaking to me in a wide-ranging interviews at Bitcoin Suisse headquarters in Zug near Zurich, Klee admitted that the recent turmoil in crypto markets, including the collapse of high-profile platforms like FTX, Bittrex, and BlockFi, had been a major setback for institutional adoption. Retail investors lost billions of dollars, and the cascading bankruptcies sending shockwaves through the industry and provoking the wrath of global regulators. With the FTX, all the problems were led by trade fi or traditional finance problems, misappropriation of client funds, no proper risk management, trading against client interests, and so forth. Basic institutional standards were not being met, so I think now institutions want to go deeper. They want to do proper due diligence. They want to fully understand how crypto companies work and what we deliver and how we're set up. Are we safe? And that's a good thing. There was hype in 2021. The market was getting ahead of itself, and the weaknesses of some players were exposed. I believe the washout is a healthy development. We've kind of been speculating kind of about this, that the whole downturn in the market, bear market, is kind of doing this. It's kind of getting rid of the bad actors, and that's not to say that there's not going to be more of them, but I think we've washed out a lot of the people who didn't have legitimate projects, didn't have the money on hand, and they just couldn't make it. So, but yeah, I mean, with having all that stuff, I could see that potentially we're going to see a spike in BTC. Yeah, so the other article that I was going to talk about was regarding scams, and this is from Blockworks. So researchers have flagged a security concern for users of a certain type of crypto wallet. The security flaw was detected in it's called Libbitcoin on Explorer on Thursday. Libbitcoin Bitcoin Explorer is a command line utility for Bitcoin-related operations, such as key generation and transaction management, eliminating the need for a full node. It allows developers and proficient users to engage with the Bitcoin network. On-chain experts mentioned that on Twitter, or X as we call it now, that many crypto wallets utilize Libbitcoin Explorer for generating private key entropy. Now hackers appear to have discreetly siphoned funds across various blockchains. If you generated a wallet using Libbitcoin's Bitcoin Explorer, including as described in the appendix Mastering Bitcoin, your funds are at risk or already stolen. This was Bitcoin technical writer David Harding had said. Meanwhile, a crypto researcher from Johns Hopkins, Matthew Green, stated that one should assume every crypto wallet has an entropy flaw. Researchers Anton Ladaja and Ryan Haywood, among others, on Wednesday highlighted the harm caused by Libbitcoin's vulnerability, noting that malicious individuals found and exploited the flaw to siphon money from impacted wallets. Researchers pointed out that Mastering Bitcoin, a guide for developers to understand Bitcoin, suggested using a command called bxseed in quotations for wallet generation. This command is used in Libbitcoin's Explorer to generate the random numbers for Bitcoin wallet creation and is essential for ensuring wallet security. But if the tool relies on a frail random number generator, wallet securities could plummet from robust like 256 down to a mere 32 bit, the team said. You can read that rest of that article over on Blockworks, and it did say at the end, though, the list of wallets that were the list of wallets potentially affected by the vulnerability was not immediately available. However, according to MetaMask, Taylor's Monahan, popular wallets such as MetaMask, Ledger, and I don't know this one, Trezor have not been affected. So I'm guessing that Trust Wallet is probably not on that list too. But I'm hoping they're going to respond to that because it's kind of a big deal. Hopefully with Atlas Wallet, we won't have to worry about these kind of issues. I would be curious to know, Paul had talked about the random seed phrase generator. How does that work exactly? And how do we protect ourselves? Is it something that's going to be safe? Is it again that 256-bit encryption? If anybody knows, please raise your hand, come up and talk about it. This is kind of curious. Next, I'd like to talk about was LunaSky. Obviously, I think a lot of us are pretty ready for that one to come out. But he put out a tweet on this was, I believe it was Wednesday, yes. So he had said, I don't know what he was responding to because I didn't see the previous post, but he said, yep, when we did the management team bug bash, we identified a fair bit of work for the devs to finish off. I guess that was the point of it, but obviously no one wants this to be launched more than we do. Cody followed up. Actually, I may be responding to his post, but we've been very transparent about LunaSky the whole time. We will not launch until it's ready. It's not collecting dust or being unnecessarily delayed. It's being finished. We can't release this while there are functional visual elements still being rectified. I wonder, it's too bad he's not here right now because I'd be curious to know just how bad it is. And, I know they can't give us timelines, but I would like to know was it, I guess in a sense it's a good thing because the bug bash, the people that participated in here, some of them are actually here in the space, probably found things that maybe they just weren't anticipating. And I don't know, Zelda, if you can speak to that. Maybe there was just they anticipated it was going to be this, and then it became so much more. But I suppose we're grateful because if they just released it with bugs, I think the FUD would be pretty much unquenchable.
There was a good bit of bugs that we found. A lot has been fixed. The other day I was talking to Cody about it. he says everything's going great. There's just a few little UIs that's got to get fixed, some visual effects, and pretty much we can release it when we get everything done. So, I mean, we're basically right there. It's just getting some little things fixed and integrating the old to the new.
Awesome. That's good news. I appreciate you saying that. I get the feeling.
No problem, Steve.
I get the feeling that based on kind of how Sam had worded it, there was like a bit of disappointment. But it's kind of one of those things you got to deal with it, right? They probably were hoping, and I remember back in July, Cody had he was pretty confident. Like, you could tell, like, he just felt pretty good that, hey, we're going to be soon, right? And maybe it was just one of those things where, you don't know what you don't know, right? And all of a sudden there it is, and you realize that, oh, we need more time with this. So, yeah, I kind of got that feeling from that tweet. I don't know if you guys got that too. Bart, how you doing? More than welcome to jump up.
I'm doing good. I'm just wanting to speak about my own experience that they're probably running through a similar situation. I was doing a scaling test on the mapping features of my game recently, and I had recently added a bunch of new features, and the scaling up of multiple users ended up being an issue with the mapping system. So I had to not start from scratch on that component, but I did have to do some rework on it. And these things happen, whenever you get to a point in the test, you're ready to do the final test, and you come across something that you didn't expect. Theoretically, everything's sound, but whenever you actually try it out and try a full-scale test of that situation, you find out that it's not going to work. So you got to go back and kind of rewrite that component a little bit.
So, being not from my programming background, how does the scaling up, like, how is something that seems relatively simple, all you're doing is adding more players to the game? How would that scaling up create such a big problem?
Well, in my situation, it was too much information being passed from a request to a response. And even with increasing the payload restrictions of the request response, I bumped it up, but that caused a delay in getting a response for map componentry updates as you walk through the game, for instance. So I had to rework that and recreate the logic on how someone walks through the game to make it more efficient.
Makes sense. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's not something I'm really familiar with, so. But I take it, this is nothing unusual. When you're kind of scaling up in a game, that it just becomes more and more difficult, more data. That was kind of a question, but that's cool. I get it. So we'll go ahead and jump into some. By the way, if you guys want to jump in, just let me know. Raise your hand if you have a question. Some EverGrow news. I thought this was pretty interesting regarding a former team member who's also a whale. And the tweet went like this from Sam. A former EverGrow team member has asked us if they would consider buying back their 1.7 trillion team tokens, and the wallet address was listed in this post, as they face financial difficulties since leaving the project. We have discussed this within the management team and offered them a buyback at a rate we previously agreed to with two whales, which is approximately 50% discount on the current value of tokens. So, in as much as we want to help a former team member and someone who truly gave their heart and soul to the project, we can only do so in a way that is fair across the board. These tokens will not be sold, they will be transferred back tax-free, and this will not affect the chart. I'm announcing this out of transparency, as you will see these tokens returned to one of the main team wallets over the coming days. I thought this was an interesting post, but I also felt it was just another demonstration of transparency from Sam and EGC. not only being fair to the former team member, but also like honoring previous whales who had not been given special treatment. So to do this would probably risk accusations of special treatment. Um, I would very much appreciate one day if Sam can maybe go into that a little bit more in detail. Although I don't really think he deserves an explanation to us, but it would just be interesting to see kind of how they came to that decision. Um, I responded like, most transparent team in crypto, because once again, we're just getting that same usual transparency, which we've come to expect from the team, and I really appreciate that. But also, I think it's just another example of deep level of professionalism and just business acumen. You know what I mean? I imagine it wouldn't be an easy decision considering the deep level of respect those team members have for each other, and also considering the financial need of the individual. So yeah, it was just kind of really interesting that that kind of played out the way it did. Um, Consequently, I guess EverGrow is up around 6% in the last 30 days. Lucro, on the other hand, has been a little beast, being up around, last I looked, about 105, 107% over the last 30 days. And I believe Sam had tweeted it's been up around 400% in the last 60 days. So I think many of us here know the potential of Lucro, and we're just kind of seeing that small little taste of what I believe Lucro can do once utilities are launched and are generating volume, sending money to EGC for buyback and burn. So exciting. I really love seeing Lucro and the charts, and we've been flirting with dropping a zero. If you guys been paying attention, it goes right up to about 98 sometimes, and then you get a little bit of a sell here and there, but guess what happens? Chart goes right back up, and it's great. I think it's good. It's like a really kind of a remarkable time to be in Lucro and EverGrow right now. I mean, much of the crypto market has kind of settled down, I think considerably. And I think towards the end of 2023, 24, we'll see Bitcoin climb. Probably, I don't know. I don't know if it'll surpass all-time highs, but either way, if it goes up, it just generates this kind of trickle down effect for altcoins. In my opinion, projects like EGC, legitimate project and utilities will just kind of reap the benefits. EGC will kind of find itself in a whole new category of cryptos where, I think down the road, a few years, who knows, people who know it and see it, I personally think they're going to garner respect from you for being a holder because, like, we've been through this kind of crazy journey as EGC holders. Some of you are a bit from the beginning, some of you are new, but I think EGC is just going to continue to separate itself from this kind of the other meme tokens and all that, and into a seriously respected project. We'll see if it happens. I believe it will, but that's my opinion on all that stuff. I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
big advantage of the Lucro rise recently is I have been able to 10x my EGC expected holdings. I had a goal way back during the highs, and I've been able to scrape off some of my Lucro and trade it for EGC and actually 10x my initial bag goal. So it's been amazing.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I've seen the other stories in Discord where people are cashing in and they're turning around and spending, 5, 10, I think around 12,000 worth of Lucro profits gone right into UGC. You know what I mean? What a way to kind of like get compounding on your profits, right? So you benefit on Lucro and then you're going to benefit on EGC. So
Yeah,
congratulations.
Lucro's a trading coin. That's the game. So use it.
Well, yeah. And I think I've heard some people where they're like selling a certain amount just so they break even and then they're holding the rest, right? Just kind of letting it ride. So they're in the green no matter what. So which is great.
Yeah, I'm not touching the whole bag. I'm just playing with a little.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame you one bit. I know EGC or EverGrow Staking is being planned, and they're going to have multiple audits. I heard 3 audits. Two I thought was pretty impressive, but to have 3, I mean, they're not taking any chances. I think it's good. The more audits, the better. Um, so I think that I don't know. My prediction for EGC staking that a lot of people are going to get into it, and that's just going to kind of reward you again, right? So not only are you going to if potentially in your case take profits by EGC, now you're going to get rewards on staking for your EGC if you choose to do that, and then you're going to get reflections too. And then if the price goes up and all that, then you're just kind of benefiting all the way around. I think it's going to encourage people to buy and hold. And then the price action should follow, I think. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So yeah, and as far as Atlas Wallet goes, kind of been waiting on the latest build version for that. It's been a couple weeks now. Waiting to see. I think the devs have just been kind of working at it, but I heard it's going to get released pretty soon for testers. So I know a lot of us here are kind of frothing at the mouth to get our hands on that, and just to get in there and see what's been done and crank out that spreadsheet. So yeah, we'll go ahead and open it up for discussion for you guys. You have any things you guys want to talk about? By all means, come on up. I'm more than happy to have you guys up. Denny, I see you dropped in. Good to see you, man. Hope you've been busy. You're not getting scorched too bad. EverGrow Love, good to see you too. Who else we got here? The Shy William Blake. And we got Brian EverGrow, good to see you too. Drakefist and Mac OB. Trek Journey, good to see you too, man. I wonder, are you on the road right now, or are you days off or vacation? Haven't seen too much of your posts lately, so I don't know what you've been up to if you've been working.
What do you think the chance of Sam Bankman-Fried is going to stay in jail?
So his bail has been revoked, which he means in jail. So I wonder if they're going to have another hearing. I'm kind of curious what the next step is, or is he being held until trial? Personally, if he's revoked his bail, I mean, it's kind of nice to see that 250 million is basically gone now, right? So I don't know. I think he's going to stay there. That's just my guess, unless he tries to find a way to buy out of that one. But I don't really think you can, because now that he's violated the terms of his bail agreement. I think. Do you know when his trial date is? I'm going to look it up real quick to see if you can find it.
No, not off the top of my head. But I was a little surprised to see that they're giving him a laptop with internet access.
Oh, really? Yeah. So he's going to really. Looks like March 2024 is his trial, so he'll be there for a while. Yeah. And yeah, poor guy. He had. I think he was staying at his parents' place over in California, somewhere near San Francisco, I believe. But yeah, so that kind of blew it. But I think a lot of us didn't really have a lot of sympathy for the guy anyway, based on everything that he's been said, and what he's done. And I'm just kind of glad that he got extradited. I was kind of worried that the Bahamian government was going to kind of hold on to him, and he was going to be able to kind of skirt, kind of the justice system. Who knows? We'll see how it all plays out. You think he paid enough money to his donors to get him anywhere on this one?
He's bought a third.
Yeah, I think he's going to get out.
He's bought a third of Congress, and I have
Yeah.
no sympathy for him. The poor guy is in a prison that's a camp for wealthy individuals who can have government approval to do whatever they want to. That's why he's in there with a laptop.
Right.
There's no prison outside of the fact he's not free to come and go. Everything else is his oyster.
Right. I don't know. I mean, when you can't leave, and I don't know, I wonder what his limitations are in terms of being able to go out in the yard and fresh air and all that stuff. Does he have a room with a window, or how that works? I'm not really too sure. Do you know the name of the facility he's being kept at?
I don't know.
I'll have to see if I can find out. So what did Trek say? He said, home the last 3 days, headed towards Chicago tomorrow. I've been busy creating have a promo for LunaSky launch, and I hope people will find it fun. Been trying to fine tune that too. That's awesome. Can't wait to see it. I think a lot of Bart, do you have a collection ready for LunaSky launch? I know. I think Zelda has got one.
Yeah, mine's all focused on the game.
Gotcha.
So it won't launch until after the game launches.
Gotcha. Are you able to kind of give us an idea when you think the game will launch?
Well, based off of this latest issue that I discovered, it's going to delay me a little bit. Not months or anything, weeks maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, my goal is still 2 weeks to 4 weeks from launch of LunaSky. It's a goal, not a deadline.
Right. Yeah. Good luck. Hope it works out. How about you, Zelda? You want to talk about your collection that you've got coming up for LunaSky? I don't know if you got good enough cell coverage where you are to go on the mic. I've seen some of them, which is pretty cool. EverGrow Love, you got a collection that I'll go ahead and give you the mic. I don't know if you can talk today, but I'll go ahead and give you a mic.
You know if they ever caught Do Kwon for the Luna?
Yes, he was arrested in, was it Montenegro? CWP, do you remember?
I think that's right, but I'm not certain.
Do Kwon, let's see, arrest. Let me find out. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, Montenegro jails Do Kwon. I think he was trying to get out of the country on a fake passport, and they caught him at the airport. So yeah, there's another one that's going to be. I don't know if he can buy his way out or not. I'm not too sure. But he's
Yeah, I lost a chunk out of that one.
Did you really? Huh?
I've been looking for the prison for where SBF is being held, and I can't find it. So I guess that's maybe going to be confidential.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting article though. Martin Shrekrelli, if that's the, is offering prison tips to him.
Don't eat the Mars bar or the is it the Snickers bar? Yeah. If you find one in your pillow, don't eat it. Oh man. Let's see. One thing, Frank NFT, it's good to see you, man. Hope you are having a good day. Let me see. Oh, there was something else I was going to cover today as well. Actually, I was going to ask you, CWP, about the Q2 investor brief from Objective Reality. When did, I don't see the date on this. Do you know when this happened?
The email that I got was yesterday, I think.
Okay.
So, but I don't know when that was. There's no date in that so far,
No.
and I think there's probably more than one uh, piece of information in there, spread out
Right.
over time from reading it.
Yeah. There wasn't really any real mention of EGC in there. In that, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more detail about that, but maybe they're just more focusing on their investors, and not necessarily the partnership. But yeah.
And they're busy dividing the game from the military applications and separating those.
Right.
And until we have the marketplace up and running, there's probably no
Our hands are tied.
news for integration into objective reality with Lucro. Sooner the
Yeah, I
better,
think so.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I wonder how long it will take them to really kind of. I know they've done some kind of. I think Cody had mentioned in the last space that, or maybe it was Paul, that they had done some kind of models of what it was supposed to look like. So hopefully, once we launch, then it won't be far behind. I think it'd be really cool. I don't have a VR headset, but I may be tempted to get one just to see how LunaSky would look like. And
Colin said that they
So
were.
according to
Colin said they were ready to put Lucro in as soon as our NFTs marketplace launches. So it should
nice,
be very quick, I'm thinking.
nice. So on their end, though, I'm a little confused. So we use Lucro to buy NFTs, the sellers, the buyers, and all that stuff on LunaSky. But how would Lucro integration work for them? If I thought the Lucro integration was mostly for the game aspect on Abstract.
I think it's going to be, I'm not Colin. I'm not privy to what his plans are, but I
Right.
thought that Lucro was going to be ubiquitous throughout the entire ecosystem.
Okay. Well, I guess we need to find more clarifying information. If that's the case, that's pretty fantastic. I know he had talked about in the interview that we did last week, that he said, if we're going to go by memory here on this one, that the Lucro was the exclusive token to be used, the only official payment method to be used in games on Abstract, which is great for us. Because I had asked him about, purchasing items within the game and then selling them within the game to other players. Like sometimes, you want to buy a chess piece or something, or a weapon or something like that. Then you could buy it in the game for Lucro, and then you could sell it to somebody else. And then I would hazard to guess that would be Lucro too, which is great.
Yes, but I'm sure maybe this goes without saying, but I'm sure that Lucro will not be involved at all with the military applications. But it would be really
No, no, I
interesting
don't.
if it was.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't really foresee them even there's being a need for that. So it's kind of a different animal. Frank, how are you doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. Just woke up. How about yourself?
Not too bad, thanks. How's the fishing?
I haven't done much for the last couple of weeks. The weather's been terrible here, so
Really hot?
no, it's winter here in Melbourne.
Oh, that's
So
right. Yeah, you got the opposite of us right now, anyway.
yeah, just looking forward to the warmer weather coming now. But I'm one of those blokes that's always in shorts and shirts anyway. So
How cold does it get in your area? Right, like if we're in
uh,
the winter for you.
for us, like overnight, probably 1 to 2 degrees, and during the day, 13, 14 degrees. So
So that's freezing, basically 32-ish, right around there for us.
yeah,
That's pretty chilly.
yeah, but still, it's good shorts weather.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good, mate. Did I miss anything about LunaSky? Didn't get the first half hour.
No, no. We were just kind of talking about the. Did you see Sam's tweet earlier? I think it was Thursday about LunaSky.
Yes.
Yeah, so there hasn't been any further updates other than that. We had Zelda kind of give a little bit of info, and Bard as well. But basically, we're kind of in a holding pattern, waiting for some new news to see kind of how long this is going to take.
What is the holdup? Because from when beta went down, it was the countdown's begun, and here we are 3 weeks later.
I think, based on what he was saying, and somebody jump in if I'm wrong, is that the bug bash revealed way more than they initially thought they were going to find. And so that's what they're correcting right now. If anybody wants to correct me on that, by all means. And when I say way more, I'm not like saying like over. I don't know a number. I really don't. I just know that they were not anticipating as much issues. So I don't know if that was an original dev issue or what. I'm not really too sure. So I know there's a UI issue, but again, I don't know the extent of it.
We just have to sit here and wait
Not much
this
else we can
long.
do. Yeah, exactly. Not much else we can do.
No worries. All good.
I appreciate it, man. CWP sent me an article that I thought was kind of interesting about NFTs. I don't know, CWP, did you want to do this one, or do you want me to read it?
Go ahead. I sent it to you for you to read. It is
Yeah.
interesting, yes.
So the article was by CaptainAllcoin.com, and it says, "Who said NFTs and crypto was dead? Digitodes investors charting a new course in crypto history. Pre-sale raised over 6.8 million." I thought that was really interesting. Like, I kind of thought NFTs had really kind of taken a bit of a downturn, but it says this article, Digitodes is emerging as a groundbreaking project in the crypto world, having raised over 6.8 million in pre-sales, positioned to become the top pre-sale project of 2023. Digitodes has garnered remarkable investor interest due to its unique combination of NFT, play to earn, P2E, gaming, and memes. The project features avatar-like creatures called Digitodes, which players can collect, nurture, and battle to earn rewards. The ecosystem also includes an NFT collection of 3,500 items, which can be minted on the platform, along with NFT staking for additional passive income. The project's clear roadmap highlighting upcoming features like in-house swaps, NFT staking launch, cross-chain integration, and more has contributed to its success. Digitoad's low token supply of 585 million and the deflationary mechanism burning 2% of transaction set apart from other meme tokens with larger supplies, creating scarcity that could boost the token's price. The presale is reaching its final stage before August 21st with current token price of 5 cents. Analysts predict a potential 50x increase in the token's value in the coming months. Digitoad's success is attributed to the robust ecosystem, strong community, growth potential, transparent roadmap, advanced tokenomics. It continues to offer opportunity for investors to participate in this promising growth trajectory after launch. What do you think? You guys familiar with Digitoads? I don't think I've ever really paid attention to that. I was curious if Rocket's kind of more in touch with that kind of thing. I don't know, maybe, yeah, it's something I'm just not really familiar with. But then again, I don't really monitor NFTs outside of LunaSky all that much. But yeah, so I thought it was kind of. Bart, have you heard of that?
No, it's news to me.
Yeah, I don't know how many projects are out there that start up just like this, but 6.8 million, not a bad little pre-sale. So I'm wondering I'm kind of curious what their marketing would be like, but how they decided to do that, and if they have any investors that are kind of well-known investors. I'm just going to quickly look them up right now. Digitoads. See if we can find anything. Pre-sale is live. You have their own website, digitoads.world. Kind of a pretty simple site. 95.17% sold. Excuse me. With 16,617,220 remaining. Next stage is 5.5 cents. Interesting. Yeah. If I were to look at this kind of just kind of at a glance, if I didn't read that article, I'd be like, this looks pretty hokey to me. But then again, it was made to be like cartoonish, you know what I mean? Kind of like for kids or something. Interesting. Anything you guys wanted to bring up before? Let's see. I was going to see if there's.
I found SBF.
Oh, where is he at?
He is in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, which is a big, giant, high-rise prison with people in it like Maxwell and R. Kelly.
Wow. So
Epstein was in there too.
Yes, that's where. That's where Epstein was, in my not humble opinion, murdered.
If so now you know where to send care packages to. I doubt any of us here are going to be sending care packages. What else was I going to bring up here real quick? Let's see, the Lucro Games. I don't really have any new updates on that, other than I know its contract talks were, I believe, concluded or near conclusion. I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious because I brought that up to Cody a few weeks back, and when I asked him about how that's going to work, and so you'll use Lucro to play the game, but then a kind of a jackpot will be like almost like a pot that will be there, and if you, I don't know if you win, if you get a high score or something like that, or I don't know how that's going to work, but you could essentially, like a lottery, win the pot, and I think depending on the game, that could be a lot of fun. And we know there's two that are planned, but I don't know what the games are. But according to Cody, we're supposed to know them because they're pretty popular. So legacy games. Yeah. Like I said, open mic. If you guys want to talk about anything, by all means. More than happy to bring you guys up. One interesting thing that I did see this morning, I was in Discord, and somebody had come up, and they were blocked from Telegram, and so they admitted that they had acted poorly in the past, and they said some things that they regretted, had a little too much to drink, and they got kicked off Telegram, and they wanted to get back in, and they apologized, and I thought that was pretty upstanding that they admitted what they did, and they wanted to make amends for it. And so I reached out to Noah and just said, hey, this is the person, and and I think Noah's going to let him back in and all that stuff. But when we're talking about things like money, and people, let's say in 2022, EGC did not do very good. You know what I mean? We're down 70, still 76%. You're dealing with people's money. Tempers can get up there, and especially if you don't know who to blame. Sometimes there's nobody to blame. Sometimes it just is what it is, right? But I thought it was pretty cool that they at least admitted fault and they're willing to, say, hey, I'm sorry, and can we get past this? So it wouldn't surprise me if more people were like that, and coming forward if we start to see increase in price, EGC. A lot of people have dropped off the radar just because of the market, right? The bear market. And I hope they do. I hope they come back and they say, you know what, my head was, I kind of lost my temper. I was frustrated at my situation, and I just wanted to, lash out at somebody, and I regret it now. So who knows how many people will do that? But still pretty cool.
I still have a very selfish view of the low price of EGC. Uh, the longer it stays low, the more I get to put in my bag. And that's purely selfish. I don't want that to extend for months and months and months and years, uh, but a few more weeks, I won't complain a bit.
It's funny how people are. I've got a friend of mine who, I've been talking to them for over a year about EGC, probably the better part of 2 years actually. And they've been kind of accumulating little bits here and there. And now that the price has gone up, like you said, it's 400 some percent in the last month, 2 months, sorry. They're all like, wow, I don't get as much for my money anymore. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of how it is now, you know what I mean? And so people are willing to spend, some people are willing to spend more when the price goes up than they are when it's less. And that would be a really, really interesting study in psychology where people see a low price. Do they perceive value in that low price? Or do they see the value when the price goes up and they're more likely to buy then? Because, you know what I mean? Because more people are buying it and therefore the price is going up and they don't want to miss out. And I just think on a psychological level, I find it very interesting. I'm kind of with you. I'm happy that the price is low because I want to accumulate as much as I can accumulate. But also you don't want it to stay low forever, right?
Right, but I think uh, people see low prices, and instead of seeing a bargain, they see it as a threat, as a coin that's maybe not going to perform, or a potential rug pull, and that's people who are just looking at price and not doing research into the company and the coin and the ecosystem. Uh, and I think that's
Do you foresee,
probably why a
go
lot of
ahead.
people have bailed.
It's possible. Do you foresee, let's just say, as a purely hypothetical, Lucro drops to zero, goes to 305. Let's just say, do you think the volume will increase accordingly to based on the higher price? Do you think volume will like pick up essentially because it's more expensive? Conversely, like if we go to 2 zeros and three or whatever, I don't know what it would be, but do you think there'll be more volume because people perceive it as more valuable?
Looking at the chart now, the volume both up and down has bounced from very low to very large amounts. I think if it starts dropping zeros, we're going to see the volume soar. Um, and it's going to seesaw too with people uh, taking profits. But I you didn't ask this, and I haven't done the math on this, but I can actually see Lucro hitting a penny.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I know Sam had talked that he said this could be a dollar token at one point, right? So 100 billion market cap. That's pretty remarkable. We're a long way from there, but even a billion at a penny, right? That's, EGC hit 1.5 billion market cap, I believe, at all-time high. So that's a penny and a half right there. And we didn't even have utilities or anything like that to prop ourselves up. We just had hype. We had that momentum of the bull market. So just imagine what it could do if we have legs, right? We had utilities and we had a good bull market at our back. I just think it'd be pretty spectacular. Do you think it could theoretically hit like 10 cents though? I'm not talking
I
like,
do.
yeah. You see that as like a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, just hypothetical.
Yeah, I think 2 years. I mean, I was talking to the other Frank last night on the phone, and we kind of think by end of next year, we believe Lucro will be around the 1-2 cent mark. So to get to 10 cents in 3 years, easily done.
It's I think it would be interesting to reflect on this in a couple of years and see how close we were. If we were just underestimating it or we were overestimating it. But I'm with you, man. I think Lucro could do so amazing. I can't remember what the team actually holds in terms of they had talked about the potential to burn Lucro. I don't really think that's a good idea personally. I think there's better uses of the token, but I'm kind of curious to know. I mean, I don't know if I would do it as Lucro rewards and staking or something like that. I really don't know. They've got to figure it out, and they'll know what to do when it happens. But 10 cents, I think, is totally doable. And I think a lot of us in here right now, if we hit 10 cents, would be sitting pretty, very pretty.
It makes me question whether to sell Lucro and buy EGC or just to hang on to Lucro. Um, I'm curious about, well, Lucro is going to do depending, uh, there's so many variables. It depends upon how all of our projects actually function in the real world and the adoption of them. Um, and the income, of course. Same thing for EGC, though. Um, by the way, just for information, supposedly to be a whale, to be in the top EGC coin holders, you need 1 trillion, which you can buy right now for about 50 grand, if anybody's got that in their savings account.
Yeah, 50 grand. Hard to believe, huh? What at all-time high, it probably to get 1 trillion, I imagine that would have been in the what, couple hundred grand? I'd have to do the math on that one, if you don't mind, if you have a minute. I was just looking at Lucro holders. There's roughly 3,500 holders of Lucro right now, which still amazes me that there's only 3,500 holders right now. How early, obviously when many of us got in at the the fair launch, sorry. It was so little then, and imagine where we would be with Lucro with potentially 100,000 holders. I mean, I don't even want to. It's exciting because it's so rare that you can get into a project early on and see it grow and then reap the rewards of it. Usually, I always find that I'm too late. I'm always behind the curve on that one, and I find out about it long after a project's launched. And I'm like, oh man, if I had got in so early, I'd be sitting pretty right now. And luckily, I'm in that position where I got in early enough where I can, hopefully take advantage of that. But yeah, 3,500 holders. And let me see here. To be on the top first page of Lucro, you need roughly 18,000's worth, which is 193 million. So if you put in around 18,000 or more, you're on the front page of the top holders. Interesting stuff.
It's going to be a roller coaster ride, um, a big one with some very interesting trips up and down, and a lot of fun.
Do you think it'll be volatile?
I I think it will be because it's going to probably, I expect exponential growth, and when you get that chart going straight up, people start selling, and it will drop straight down. If you look at the chart now, I mean it's seesawed up, but there have been some pretty big drops, um, and it's recovered, and it will continue doing that, I think. Um, but so I think there
What I
will be a
love
lot of
seeing
volatility, and that's a good thing.
What I love seeing is a kind of sustained price. You see it go up, obviously if it goes up really high, excuse me one second. Sorry, I got a little itch in my nose. I thought I was going to sneeze. But you see it go up and then you get a kind of a quick drop, but then it recovers like slow. Obviously, it slowly recovers, right? More buys and all that stuff. But we're seeing kind of a sustained price level, which I really like seeing. And just one second. My apologies there. So you're seeing it kind of hover right in the nines, and I think that's fantastic. Um, I because you never know what it's going to do, right? We went from sixes, sevens, eights, and we saw big spikes, big drops, and then yeah, but it's kind of holding its own right now. Got a couple comments. I'm just going to read them real quick. So Crypto Bard, yeah, he's at the Metropolitan Detention Center, and what else? Trek said Lucro, with its available tokens, its liquidity and use case, all will take is adding to the market cap. There are so few holders right now. Consider 50,000 holders. I just bought in this heavy this week. It has a major possibility. And of course, I have to say NFA, of course, not financial advice. Let me check see if there's other comments here. EGC Mike said, what do we got here? All-time high, it was 3,370,000 for a trillion at all-time high. Wow. Because I remember, I think Paul had said he did 8,000 at the beginning. And then he, at all-time high, went up to, I can't remember, he said had roughly 3 million or something. 3 million in holdings, and he sold just a tenth of that, I believe. Crazy.
I remember Paul saying that he invested and then invested again, then he took 8 grand out and put 8 grand into it, which had to have been a huge boom. And that was at the very beginning.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he got really lucky on that one. I'm kind of curious. Most people I talk to in Discord, they talk. I mean, you have no way of proving it, right? But they say that they got in, the first little while. How many of you here knew about EverGrow within the first 3 weeks of launch? Let's say, give me a thumbs up if you knew about EverGrow and you were invested within the first 3 weeks of launch. Because I think after right around October to November is really when we saw the spike. I got in, I believe it was like September 9th or something like that. I was not
Mine
the
was
first.
Halloween.
Oh, really? October 31st, huh? Just before the big spike. That's when it really kind of pumped.
I knew about it, but I didn't have any funds to invest, so I didn't get in until November, which
Right.
broke my heart.
Yeah. But you get a second chance at it when you got these low prices, right?
Amen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, these prices are fantastic. I'm loving it.
I'm curious what you guys think with Bitcoin halving and all that stuff. Do you think we're going to be starting in September? Usually I think Bard, were you talking about it last time, or you said like usually leading up the October 21st for EGC Mike? Yeah, you got it pretty early.
Yeah, I said end of August.
So you think by the end of August we're going to start to see some price action on BTC?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's see where it's at right now. 29,392. It's relatively flat for the last 24 hours, last 7 days. It's cut up a little bit, not much. 14 days, pretty sideways. Maybe up a little bit, but not much action going on there. Last 30, it's actually down. The last 90, up a little, but not much. Nothing fancy happening here. Kind of interesting to see what's going to go.
I'm very
Over the
surprised too. Um, back at the beginning of the year before the doldrums really hit, I thought Bitcoin was going to get really close, if not exceed 100 grand. But it's
Well,
just
the SEC as a health matters.
really. Um, there's a prediction I want to hear. When is SEC going to actually make some guidelines and rules that we can follow for those of us who want to um, and who want to pay our taxes? Because right now, nobody has a clue about what's going on. Tax advisors, taxpayers, no one. And it's irritating beyond words.
What I find is really interesting is the SEC is supposed to be the enforcer of the rules, not the maker of the rules. So we rely on Congress to make our laws and to set up the rules, and the SEC enforces them. So why is it the other way around? Why is the tail wagging the dog?
the Congress should be the ones writing the legislation. And I think a couple spaces ago, CWP, you said that there was the House had voted on some rules for crypto. So it's up to the Senate to take up that bill. Do you know anything, if there's been any movement on that at all?
I don't think there's been any at all. Um, the only thing I've really heard is Bernie Sanders has joined the anti-crypto crusades, but sadly, it's such a bipartisan issue too, and I really don't understand why. I mean, I can understand why it's a partisan issue from the GOP side. Um, uh, for having the ability to do what you want to do with your own money, and lack of government interference, and government interference being a very negative to the GOP. But I really don't understand what's going on with the Democrats. I do know that there are a number of them who have come out fairly vocal in talking about their own crypto holdings. So it's not an exclusive anti-crypto club. Um, I really don't understand why we haven't, as a Congress, followed suit with what we did with the internet. Except the one thing, DeFi is very much the Wild West. It's not controllable, and I think maybe the governments that are fighting it are seeing DeFi being a threat to not only just their power, but the existence of governments, period.
Yeah, I think CBDC has something to do with it too.
And so many people are jumping on digital currencies right now. Um, and uh, and I see those digital currencies, besides exercising control, because they're 100% trackable, and and we will become a cashless society using CBDCs that are completely tracked by government agencies. Um, Whether that's good or bad depends upon one's point of view. It's certainly a privacy issue, um, but that's also a distraction. And I think it's serving as a distraction from the adoption of crypto, from paying attention to actually what's happening to Bitcoin, um, and why adoption in this country is so low, where in some countries like Nigeria it's 80%. Um, and it's pathetic that we have not embraced this, um, because NFTs, crypto, the whole blockchain universe, as I read about it, is a real game changer for everything that humans do, and we need to be embracing it. Just my progressive viewpoint.
Needs to be easier. And I think that's the problem with adoption in the U.S. They need convenience.
Are you saying Americans are lazy and they want it handed to them?
Absolutely, 100%.
And pretty stupid too, in my opinion. Pretty uneducated, uh, much more so today than 20 or 30, 40 years ago. Um, and I think part of that's what you just said, lazy. Um, who wants to go? I love learning, but I know that a lot of people much younger than me have no interest. Once they left school, that was the end of their book reading.
I think it's kind of interesting, like adoption. For I think for a lot of people, for there to be an adoption of crypto and NFTs, you kind of have to make it fun. You know what I mean? For the general public, and you have to make it so that they have a use for it, right? So you ask most people on the street about NFTs, and they're like, it doesn't matter to me. Like I'm more concerned about, sending my kids to school or buying groceries or my, making sure I still have a job and, paying the bills and all that stuff. And so NFTs for them, it's kind of hard for them to wrap their head around because they don't really see the value in it. If marketplaces, traditional marketplaces, let's say like Target or Walmart, adopted NFTs in a way like a coupon or something like that, then people would start to get more familiar with it, more comfortable with it, and then they would start exploring it. That's when you would see adoption. Um, so right now, I think there's not really that adoption because we haven't given the reason to adopt. They don't see the
You
value.
know, that's one of the reasons I started building this game is so that NFTs actually have a utility outside of artwork. And I'm hoping it makes a change to the community.
I think most people see
That's
NFTs as being mutant apes, um, and 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 that's also the fault of the press, the mainstream press, because they are not talking about the potential changes that blockchain technology and NFTs are going to bring to everything that we do on paper now will be eliminated and put into the blockchain. That is a huge change in the way that business and government will interact with people and individuals together too. But that's not being talked about, and it should be being publicized. So your game is a great start. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of people accepting Bitcoin. Um, and when companies like Target or other businesses start accepting crypto in payments and widespread, we're going to see the explosion of crypto. I hope.
I hope so too. And I think, part of NFTs, it's kind of like what's in a name, right? A lot of people are like, they don't understand the NFT like non-fungible token. It's not easy for them to wrap their head around too, right? So like there was an article on Forbes about the future of NFTs and in the gaming world at least. And so um, here this one article talks about in the gaming world, NFTs are used to represent in-game items such as weapons, armor, or even entire virtual worlds. These items can be bought, sold, and traded like traditional collectibles, providing a new revenue stream for in-game developers. NFTs can also give gamers a sense of ownership and rarity of their in-game items, adding a new level of immersion and excitement into the gaming experience. So little things like that, if you can incorporate that into traditional, again, like I was talking about coupons, but imagine, let's say you were to collect, we were talking, I think this was quite a while ago, about Monopoly, the game that McDonald's did, right? Imagine if they issued NFTs instead of the little things that you get with your meal or whatever, right? Rather than peeling off a sticker, you scanned a code, it would give you an NFT, and you collected those NFTs in order to potentially play this kind of Monopoly style game or whatever like that. So now you're giving people a reason, excitement, and like what NFTs do you have, right? It's kind of the same thing, but it's kind of different too. And then potentially now it's, yes, you could sell those things. I know one guy who was selling his winning kind of the ultra rare piece there from Monopoly from McDonald's, and was what was the prize anyway? Was it like $1 million or something? Do you guys remember the top prize for the McDonald's Monopoly game? It wasn't 50 grand, it was more than that, I'm pretty sure. But they were actually selling it online, like through eBay or something. What if you can tap into that, right? Into, let's say, our marketplace and sell these NFTs like this and then profit from them? You know what I mean? So I think just that we just need that adoption. We need an open mind and creative thinking in order to make these systems work. Everybody benefits. It's not like we're taking money from people and they're not benefiting. They will be. One thing I was going to ask you, Bart, about your game. You provided a little bit of detail. I know you shared with me one of the NFTs that are going to be used in the game. Could you maybe go into a little bit of detail about the game? Because I'm kind of curious about or is it kind of one of those things where it's too early?
I don't think we're too early anymore. Yeah, it's a game framework where creators can use their created NFTs to build out their own kind of world within the game framework. It doesn't cost anything for them to do it. Web 2 people and Web 3 people can both play the game. There's no reason why you have to be part of the crypto world. The idea was to be able to make hybrid system where, you know, people that are not familiar with crypto can play in the game, and people that are familiar with crypto play in the game. But it's based on classic tabletop games using some modern technology, upgraded interfaces, a lot of things built from scratch, things that I've never seen before, just random things that I've thought of and what I would want within a game framework. But the ultimate goal was to provide a utility for any NFTs out there. And that's where I'm going with it.
Is it possible to communicate within the game and exchange ideas or anything like that?
Absolutely. Yep. There's several different chat rooms and team, like your little RPG group that you go out into the wilderness with. You've got a little team that's private and not communicating with the world. You've got private messaging between individuals and things of that nature.
Very interesting. And you had mentioned before that you could actually like occupy NPCs within the game too, right?
Yeah, that's a creator feature. Creators are going to have a lot of different features. So the general idea is to give artists the ability to create their imagination within this framework. So if they wanted to interact with other players, they can assume the role of one of the existing characters that they've created and go off script from whatever they programmed that NPC to do. They can actually become that NPC and just interact with people.
Very interesting. Can you describe what it looks like? You know, what the kind of the user interface would look like for a person just seeing it for the first time?
Yeah, the primary gameplay interface is the chat window. You know, it's based off of your old text-based, what they called multi-user dungeons, the MUDs. But there's a lot of features around outside of that chat window, tools and buttons to click and things to do, so you don't have to type in all that stuff. And also, as you're traveling throughout the world, you're going to see the actual NFTs pop up to give you some imagery to go with the room that you're in, the items that you're collecting, the weapons that you're using, the characters that you're using. All of those are individual NFTs.
Can people bring their NFTs from LunaSky into that space?
Only if they're compatible. I'm not going to let every random NFT to go into the space. There's got to be some kind of constraint to do it. But yeah, they can import characters that have passed the sniff test. And yeah.
Very interesting. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like. It's pretty cool. Will you be, before launch, will you have it so that a handful of people can kind of sort of see and peruse the world, or is it going to be kind of one big launch?
I'm going to let creators log into it about 2 weeks early. The creators that won the Valentine's Day competition that I held earlier this year, they're going to have first dibs. So they'll be able to log in, start creating their worlds, start playing around with the interface and get used to the game. And hopefully they can be advocates for getting other people to play.
Very cool. Can't wait to see it. So yeah, and you didn't really provide any timelines, but you think in the next like couple months maybe?
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, and you know, my way of making money is going to be just like the other creators. I'm going to be selling NFTs. I'm going to be selling characters and weapons and everything else, but I'm going to be on the same playing field as the other creators. I'm not going to have special privileges outside of what they have. We're all going to be on an equal realm. There's no fee to play the game. There's no fee to create. There's no fee for any of that. And I'm hoping that through the sale of NFTs, that will be enough to keep the game running.
No, thanks for sharing that. I'm kind of like really curious. So there's going to be some visual aspect to it, but it's not. It's mostly text-based. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, the primary gameplay space is text-based, but there are NFTs that are associated with what you're doing within the game, so it does give you a visual. And it does support video as well. If you wanted to do video NFTs, I did add support for that. I know Moon Android is big on that, so I went ahead and added that.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
And you guys want to talk about anything else at all? Anything on your mind? I'm going to continue looking for more stuff that I was looking at earlier.
I did have another thought on crypto adoption that I wanted to share. Um, on this space, I would imagine, although I don't know, that most of the people here may own stocks or bonds and have a knowledge of finance. Um, I don't know if you've ever tried to explain money to the average American. Ask people what a dollar is. Ask them to tell you what a dollar is. Most people have no clue what money is. We use it, we save it, we spend it, we have maybe retirement plans that involve stocks, but most people really don't understand finance. Um, and crypto is a lot more complex. But once you understand finance, crypto makes um, great sense, and it's really easy to understand. So I guess what I'm saying is we need more financial education in this country.
Absolutely. I think maybe that's why crypto hasn't been adopted quicker. It was just simply that education. One thing I thought was kind of interesting was a gig done by about Bitcoin gift cards, and I guess it was provided by Azteco, um, and they announced a $6 million seed funding and an $84 million valuation by Jack Dorsey. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know much about Bitcoin gift cards. Are you guys familiar with this? I'll try and dig in more to it.
No,
Is
not
it?
at all.
Yeah, I just kind of thought it was kind of. I try to look up news articles during the week just to see what's kind of what's going on out there, and I really don't know like the idea behind it. I was hoping there would be more background into it, but it just seems it's pretty new. So if you guys find out more, let me know. Appreciate it. And you guys have any questions about anything? About EverGrow or Lucro? I'm gonna actually look up Lucro real quick and see where we're at. I was really hoping we dropped that zero in the last couple of days, and it's been flirting with it. 40935 right now, kind of right there, hovering right around there. Even if we saw, what do you call it? Even if we saw a bump by BNB, that could actually technically do it. So we may not have any volume at all. And then if BNB goes up, BNB's up 0.7% right now at 240.47. And it's kind of slowly going up a little bit, but it's not a lot of price action. But if let's say we saw a 5% jump in BNB, we would break drop that zero. That'd be pretty fantastic.
I haven't seen any correlation between BNB and Lucro. There's some correlation between BNB and EGC, um, but not with Lucro. Lucro's not seemingly correlated with anything else. It's a world of its own.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really. I think it's because it's doing its own thing. The entire market might be down 0.4%. Lucro goes up, 30 or 40%. So it's kind of hard to really make that kind of evaluation because it seems like it's doing its own thing. It's just which I love about Lucro. I always knew that Lucro was going to be a token to watch, and when it goes up 100, 200%, I kind of want to tell you I told you so, but I don't want to rub it in either. But most people are surprised when I tell them. They're like, "Oh, it's up to 300%." Yeah, I told you so. Like, I told you it was, and right now we don't even have utilities launched yet. So just wait till we do. And then, yeah, that was kind of interesting. But you can't, sometimes you just can't tell people, right? They just, you tell them the best you can. And, and they're like, well, how much is it up, this year? And you can't really, you can tell them what the numbers are, but they don't really understand that, the bear market and all that stuff. Because they're not, that's not their world. So they don't understand it. But Rocket, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Well, welcome to come up and chat if you have time. We're just kind of doing the open session right now, just kind of shooting the breeze. Kind of covered all the news I can cover.
Throw him some fish.
Absolutely. Herring or sardines? I don't know. I'll invite you to speak, but you don't have to, by all means. Let's see, who else we got here? Hersan, good to see you. I wanted to know, give me a thumbs up if you were actually able to stake your Lucro. I think you did. I think you said you did. Kenny, good to see you too. What else we got here? Matthew and David Amadi, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you've been well. XCFan 2, actually. And who else we got here? Lewis, Brian EverGrow, and Crypto Profit. Good to see you. Salman, I saw that comment you made there earlier. Kind of sorry with the FUD. I agree with you. What else we got here? Gracious, good to see you too. Yeah, I gave Rocket the mic, but he might be busy with the family today, so no big deal. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Like I said, it's kind of open discussion.
I have a question.
Shoot.
You just said that you got the idea of Lucro immediately and knew it was going to be a big deal. I didn't. At first, I really didn't understand the point of Lucro. It took me a while to wrap my head around it. When I did understand it, then I agreed with your position. It was going to soar. But I just wonder if other people didn't understand it at first.
I get that question a lot, believe it or not. People don't see the point of it. And maybe it made a little bit more sense when the Lucro tax was 14%. Maybe people could wrap their head around it a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I knew it was a transactional token. I knew it was designed to be traded. And when I saw that 100 billion circulating supply and the healthy liquidity, I knew it was going to be a gem. I don't know how I knew, I just knew. It just seemed obvious to me. I don't know. But all we really needed was the reason, like anything, right? You got to provide people the reason to buy something. And right now people are probably being highly speculative and they're saying, okay, well, I think it's going to do this, this, and this. And that's why they're buying it. And so there's nothing wrong with being a speculative investor, especially when you know the background of what's going to happen, what it's going to do, and how it's going to be integrated into a system. So, like I said, for me, it was easy to understand. I didn't expect the level of volatility of Lucro, and I'm actually, I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I thought Lucro would be a little higher than it is today. I kind of thought we'd be in the 3 zeros, mid 3 zeros territory by now, just because I see the potential of it. But the market kind of has to decide for itself what it feels its value is, right? Right now you're seeing this kind of teetering in the nines, 409. So the market isn't convinced just yet that it's worth any more than what it is. And that's normal. But as soon as you see a utility launch and people are get to wrap their head around what this is and what it could do, then you'll see a kind of that level of, well, do people feel comfortable with it? Do they feel like it's delivering on what I think it could be? If let's say LunaSky was launched and 3 months later, Sam came out and said, yeah, we made $1 million from this already, that would be kind of pretty big game changer, right? And then things may look very, very different from Lucro. But we're just gonna have to wait and see, right? Will the Lucro games be the ones that really generate a lot of volume, or will it be LunaSky, or will it be the wallet? It's kind of hard to know. It's hard to really know which one's going to be the one that takes off. And just like most utilities, or let's just call it like a business, right? You know how some businesses have multiple arms under them and they're kind of a conglomerate of many businesses. one might be a little rising star in one economy, but the other parts of the business are slow. But yet, let's say the economy turns, and then you have that other business, let's say, does better, and the other one comes down, or maybe they go up together. You never really know which one's going to be the gem. But Hassan, good to see you.
Hi, we're driving, so I don't know if you can hear all the noise.
Oh, just a little bit, but it's fine.
Okay.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, about Lucro. I think I call my brother every every night and say, "Hey, did you see Lucro? Did you see Lucro?" Very happy. Hey, I told you. Anyway, and we share ideas and comment. I don't have anybody to talk to about crypto, so I have to call him. I think
Right.
when the utilities come and Sam or the team puts a little bit heavy marketing strategy, one of
Mm-hmm.
those will be like that's me just thinking YouTubers spreading the words, because right now it doesn't matter how good of a product you have if nobody knows about it. And right now
You're
I've
right.
been looking uh, through YouTube. You type and you barely see anybody talking about Lucro, that the utilities
Yeah.
are coming out soon or this or that. You don't see that. But if all of a sudden you see a couple of YouTubers talking about Lucro, plus the utility working and the rewards coming back to the holders, that's gonna make it, in my opinion, explode, because like somebody said, most people don't do their research, so they go by what their YouTubers say, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
You're
that
right.
would be huge for Lucro, and considering the price and the low supply, it
Mm-hmm.
might drop one or two zero quickly. Some uh, coins have done it with no utility, just by hype, you
Exactly.
know.
Exactly. I'm glad you get it. And I just went on just for giggles. I went onto YouTube, right? I typed in Lucro News just to see what would pop up, right? The first search result was small business CRM. I'm guessing that's customer resource management. Lucro CRM. I don't even know what that is. Second is done by Crypto Control 7 months ago. Why Lucro is pumping EverGrow utility token going up 7 months ago. Then it's EverGrow official channel 11 months ago. Lucro token fair launch. And then Scripted Legend did a couple little videos here and there about 10 months ago. And then 2 months ago is when I did one of my first space on it was Space 40. So when you start to see news come out by, like you said, influencers, I think it might just turn things, right? I don't know. At least it'll be one aspect of it. That, some people forget their news from YouTube, about tokens and crypto and all that stuff. Some people get it elsewhere, but actually, I'm going to try a couple different search. I'm going to do Lucro token news, see if anything changes there. 9 days ago, is Lucro token legit or a scam? This was by Crypto Finance. I'll have to watch that one later. And then the second one is how to stake Lucro through Bird Labs, the one I did. So, and then Lucro token fair launch for EverGrow official. So I don't know. I don't know maybe when we're ready for marketing. I don't know if that's part of it. Maybe with Crypto Control, maybe he'll do a video. I'm not too sure, but it'd be cool. He's he's got a pretty good following. I don't know how crypto is right now in terms of, um, they used to pay very, very well in YouTube for CPM, but I mean, he's got a following of about 14,000. So, I mean, I could see it being pretty popular. I don't know. What do you think, Person? Do you think that's part of the marketing is getting a Lucro kind of a token influencer
Yeah, for
for
sure.
YouTube or
Yeah,
yeah.
again, like most people don't read. They just go by what they. Me at the beginning, that's how I started, investing, and that's how I knew EverGrow through Crypto Control in one of his videos, and then that's when I did some research. But that's how I first knew about. And I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people like that.
Hmm. I think I remember Paul had talked about how he found EverGrow, and I think it was very similar to how I found it, maybe because of the timing. But I was looking up the like sort of like pink sales and stuff like that, and the next big token, and EverGrow popped up, right? And I don't know why that popped up. If it was just because maybe they were marketing at that time. I have no idea. But that's how I got lucky that way in finding it. I was just researching for a few hours, and that's how I found it. But you're right. People, go to YouTube, and and that's how they choose their investment is through influencers. Maybe I don't know so much about Instagram, but it's possible. Probably TikTok. I'm guessing that's probably part of it too. But yeah, I'd be curious to see. I know I'm looking forward to it. I know Crypto Control. I'm going to see when the last time he did a video here and what he was talking about. Let's see here. I know he was doing one for Vitreous, the pre-sale. I think they're probably, my guess is using him for some marketing because he's done a couple of videos for them. Yeah, a few videos actually.
Yeah,
So
for me, I was on Facebook and I saw somebody that had a step-by-step procedure on how to buy crypto, and EverGrow happened to be the one that they were using as their example. And I threw $100 in there just to walk through the procedure and see how it worked. It was complicated the first time,
yeah,
but yeah, that's how I came into crypto, is following a very simple step-by-step procedure, and somebody was nice enough to put that out there. And after I put $100 in it, I started reading up and researching, and I'm like, I should probably put some more in there.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's how I ended up in it.
It took me a day to figure out how to buy EverGrow through PancakeSwap because I kept getting, it wouldn't go through. I kept getting the rejection because of slippage. And I didn't even know what slippage was, you know what I mean? So I was like trying to watch videos on slippage and try to wrap my head around it. And eventually I got it to go through. But at that time too, like it was going kind of crazy. It wasn't the all-time high or anything like that. But it was more expensive and I wanted to get it for cheaper. But slippage.
You just gave me an idea, Steve. Let me throw it out, see what people think. Um, Putting together a video just explaining Lucro, showing a chart and explaining what it is, and see if we can get everybody that's holding Lucro or everybody within the EGC family who has a YouTube account to put that on their YouTube account.
That's not a bad idea at all. That's not a bad idea at all. I think, so you have one video that's kind of done by many people, and then they post it on their channel. It's a different way of, because typically when you upload a video, it's by one person, and then somebody typically could share that video, right, to another person, but they could also host that video. I believe there's a way to do it where, and essentially they're trying to like take credit for it, you know what I mean? Even though they didn't do the video. But that's not a bad idea. I'm kind of wondering, I don't,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was
And
going to say that,
oh,
the majority of the stuff that we put out there to notify people of Lucro and EverGrow, if you're in crypto, it's no big deal. You get it. But if you've never been in crypto, they're not going to know what the heck you're talking about. And I think that's one of the things that we miss. We don't cater to the non-crypto folks.
What do you think that would
agreed.
look like?
And a follow up to that would be how to buy it on PancakeSwap, a video tutorial that everybody could share.
That's a great
Maybe some
idea.
others, you know, maybe tutorials about what is crypto and what's all the hype about.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'll
then
certainly
those
do my own. I'll do my own video, but collaboratively, I would more than happy to work with any of you guys to come up with a like what is Lucro? You know what I mean? Like kind of do a real simple explanation of it. I could prepare something and then you guys can look at it if you want to change it by all means. But
and these could also go on people's Facebook um, profiles, not as what are those called? Those little things that stay around for a day. Um,
even like shorts or whatever.
they aren't well, but yeah, reels. Um, but there's also a little blurb about where you are and what you're doing that comes up when you click on the on Facebook Messenger. Um, but all of those things, maybe we need to get together and brainstorm.
I think part of it too is there is that perception to it. Let's say I made a video on what is Lucro, right? And what is it? How does it fit into this ecosystem? And why do I think you would benefit from it, right? There's always that possibility that people would be like, well, you're just doing it because you want to make money off of me or something like that, right? I don't want anybody ever to get that perception about anything that I'm doing. I just do it because I want to share the information. It doesn't matter to me if you buy it. I'm just sharing it with you. Like I tell people about Lucro and EverGrow because I want them to benefit from that knowledge. If you want to buy it and you're become a millionaire out of it, congratulations. I don't want anything of that. I just, congratulations, right? But I want to give people the opportunity to earn wealth for themselves and a little bit of, maybe they're not going to be millionaires, but they'll have some financial freedom, right? And that's why I feel so good about it. I don't mind sharing that information because I don't expect anything in return. I really don't. It doesn't matter if I make a video and it has 1,000 views and I make nothing off of it. It doesn't matter to me. That's not the point of why I do what I do, right? Hersan, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I agree with CWP, right? About making the general, concise, precise video. Now, I would add, instead of going through PancakeSwap, through Atlas, or I don't know how far Atlas would be, but something simple that people outside of crypto would understand. That's the first part. The other part is and this is the power of influence. When my brother told me about crypto, I didn't understand the concept. Later, one day I saw Elon Musk, influencer, tweeting about Doge. Then I called my brother and said, "Hey, the thing you've been telling me about, Elon Musk just tweeted." He said, "Yeah, I've been telling you." And that's when I put my first $100 in Dogecoin, and I got excited, learning. Uh, and when I saw the price going up, the emotions and getting more excited. So I uh, I spoke about it, about crypto at work. My boss at the time, he would not just believe me, he wouldn't believe me, he would speak to the other employees against that. Don't believe in that, that's scammy, whatever. So little by little, he went, he started believing me, like, and what do you buy that? Because every day, when the bull market started hitting and going up, I would say, hey, remember what I said? Now it's going up. It's like 10 cents, 12 cents, and so on. So he became excited and wanted to make a story short, he opened an account, he bought, and he was making money. When he saw that, he spoke to his family. He bought for his 3 daughters, for his mom, his wife. So through him, I reached like 4 people that has nothing to do with crypto. My point is, the video, the marketing campaign through whatever some things would be appropriate, I think YouTubers play a good role. When I first staked my Lucro, the volume was like 800. And I saw after you, Steve, posted that video, it went up like 900,000, a million. And right now it's almost like 2 million. I don't know if that made a change. I believe it did because you made it so easy. Right now I can do that with my eyes closed, you know? So information through YouTubers, and if the information is really easy, it helps a lot, So I think I lost my train of thought. But anyway, I think that would be, great. The video. This is the thing. When people start seeing the results, let's say a friend of yours, you tell he knows through YouTube or you directly, and he sees like my ex-boss, the results, and he says, oh, it's going up. Oh, the rewards are coming out. And things like that are happening, that person, just based on excitement and seeing the fruits, he's gonna or she's gonna tell somebody else, and somebody else is gonna tell somebody else, because I saw it, I lived that.
I really appreciate your kind words that you said about that video, and I try to make it as simple as possible and clear. And I'm glad you that it was easy for you to understand and get there, because I admit, the Real Labs is pretty straightforward, but I did have a lot of issues at the beginning, and a lot of it was just understanding how to use the system, right? So I try to make it as simple as possible. I'm glad it worked for you, and right now we're still kind of in that bear market territory, so I think that video will age pretty well. We've still got approximately about 6 months of staking left before the contract's up. I believe roughly right now. It's almost halfway there. Might be a little bit longer. So, and I'm kind of a firm believer that once the contract's done, I'm hoping the team will realize that, hey, this is a good thing that we should maybe bring over to EverGrow, so that we can stake Lucro and EverGrow on our site rather than. I have nothing against Brew Labs. I think they're great, but I would just love to keep it in house for us. But the video, until then, I think it'll age well, and people who understand maybe see Lucro and they're like, oh, okay, wait a second. A lot of people, it's interesting about staking, they have a distrust of it, and I'm not really too sure why that is. I mean, maybe at first I had some doubt about staking, but it's not like it's the first time staking, right? If it was the first time I ever heard of staking and I never heard of the company and all that stuff, then I might feel differently. But I felt pretty good about it. I don't worry about staking at all. And some people get it really. For you, Hassan, was it something nerve-wracking for you to stake Lucro? Like, did you feel like you weren't sure about it, or?
Yes, because first I wanted to. Before that, I tried to stake some other coins, and I don't know what I did, but the rewards I got, if I traded with a fee, because I think that's the mistake I made. I don't know what I did. Uh, I had to pay to stake it, so I said, but wait a minute, what I'm paying is more than what I got back, so there's no point in staking. So after that, I was very afraid. So that's why I wanted somebody step by step to tell me how to do it, so I don't make the same mistake. So, but once I did it, and through the video, step by step, and it worked, and I check every day, and I see that it's working. It's so easy. Now, other coins that because now I want to stake everything, but it's not the same. I can't find other coins in that platform. So, but anyway, yeah, at the beginning I was afraid, and now I'm fine because it works.
The first time I staked was SHIB, and that was through their platform, right? And that was at the very beginning when you could stake through the Shibarium and all that stuff, and you get that's when they introduced Bone and all these kind of things, right? And so I remember very, very clearly the promises of rewards at that time. You could do so well and all that stuff, right? And I staked it, and then I looked at the rewards and I was like pretty disappointed. And I staked for the full term of 6 months. That was the lockup period. And by the time I took out my gas fees, I I kind of lost money. I was really disappointed. And luckily, SHIB had gone up quite a bit, and I sold it, and I made about 3 times what I put in. So I was happy about that. But it really turned me off of staking at first. You know what I mean? Because it was not a pleasant experience. It was confusing through them, and just I don't know. I felt like it was an overpromise and underdeliver situation. Whereas at least with Brew Labs, I could see my compounded tokens, what I've got in there. You could see what I have. And I see what I'm going to get, and I could compound if I want to, and I see the dollar value of it. And I have a good idea of what my rewards are going to be like because the APY is whatever it is in the 8.9 or whatever it is now, 8.5 or something. I have a pretty good idea, and I like that. I like knowing that. Sure, it could change. It could go down to 5%, but it also could go up to 10 or 12. It just really depends on how many people get in the pool or what what's available for the rewards, right? So, but I don't know. I hope that our staking for EGC will be as simple and um, and lucrative for people who want to stake EGC. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I go back to your idea about this, the CWP about video and all that stuff. I think that's a fantastic idea. And any video that I make, you're more than welcome, you guys, to put it on your channel. And there's nothing proprietary about it or all like that. I just want to share the information. And if I wonder how it would work though, if you had like 100 people sharing the same video, what people, because I mean, you have your own audience too, right? Your own. So, I mean, maybe you don't produce a lot of videos, maybe you do, but if you get it on there, what kind of audience could you reach with that? I'm willing to try. So maybe, what do you think, CWP? What do you think the first video should be like? Why you should buy Lucro? What do you think?
I don't know. That idea just popped into my head, and I haven't refined it at all. And the more I've thought about it, I've thought about how many different kinds of videos, and your conversation that you just had with Gerson made me reminisce about my crypto experience. Um, I posted just the other day that I have talked and talked and talked and talked to people about crypto, and their eyes glaze over. I'm not interested. It's a scam. And the only person that I've gotten interested at all in crypto was in EGC, because I was talking to my T-Mobile tech who was trying to help me get better connections, and told him that I needed it to buy crypto, and that and we engaged at that point in a discussion about crypto. He has a little bit, but he's not knowledgeable. And I go back to when my friend told me that I should, I was, back when Robinhood came out and you could start buying fractional shares. And I got excited about the stock market again and started doing that. And my friend said, "You ought to buy some Ethereum." And I just blew her off totally. What a silly name. It's almost as silly as PooCoin. Um, and I didn't take it seriously, and I didn't look at it, and I didn't investigate it. And Ethereum was about $3 and $3.50 a coin at the time. Um, and had I invested, I would have put 100 or 200 in. I would be sitting quite pretty now. Um, I have a friend that I have been trying. My daughter doesn't even want me to will crypto to her. She wants me to convert it to dollars before I die. Um, One of my friends is freaked out about doing KYC and giving that information out because of digital ID theft. Um, so there's a whole lot of questions the general public has out there, and total lack of understanding. And I think maybe if everybody would do this, my audience on uh, on YouTube is small. I did have a fairly large following on my old Gmail or Google account before it got hacked, um, but I don't have any on this one. Still, if everybody was doing this, somebody might reach 100 people, somebody might reach one, some of us might reach nobody. But at least it would expose people to the idea, and maybe a lot of people who don't understand, who've never been really exposed to it.
I agree. I totally agree. I want to go back real quick before I lose my thought. But Hersan had asked about the oh, it just slipped away again real quick. He was asking about a simple way to show people how to buy Lucro, right? And right now, our only option until Wallet Connect gets fixed is PancakeSwap. So, but once the swap is once the Wallet Connect issue is fixed, correct me if I'm wrong, then we can use the Lucro built into the EGC site. Atlas is not the Atlas wallet is not like publicly available yet. Once that becomes available and direct buy is an option within that wallet, I think that will open up EGC and Lucro to a whole new a whole new group of people, because it's going to be native within the wallet. So as soon as you create your wallet, you will see EGC and Lucro in there. And I think that's fantastic. So as soon as you load this wallet up, you're like, oh, what are these tokens? And maybe you're going to do some research on it. The next thing you know, they're going to buy it. Oh, wow, you can buy it direct within your wallet. You don't have to go through swaps. When you make it that easy for people, more people will buy. Absolutely, 100%.
And
And
I
you're right.
agree with that totally. But, too many people don't have any idea what a crypto is. So having it available to buy, they aren't going to buy it because they don't know what to do with it. They don't understand a wallet. Even a wallet on your phone is a difficult concept for a lot of people to wrap their head around, because it's not like the wallet in your pocket with dollar bills in it. The crypto doesn't exist there. It's just a ledger. Um, and there's so much that people don't understand. Um, and I think about how much of a newbie I was and the learning curve that I've gone through. And we've been talking about the first purchase of EGC and how difficult it was for all of us, not knowing what we were doing. And for me, at least, the fear and trepidation that I was going to lose all the money. Those are the things that we need to be looking to educate people on. I think maybe now, even when we don't have the utilities, when we don't have the wallet.
When you think about it, now is a perfect time, because we're so early, right? And if we can educate people sooner, like, again, these videos don't go away, right? But one thing that did pop into my head when you were talking was, I wonder if there's a way to incorporate within Atlas Wallet some form of education for new people, so that they can get familiar. We can make it so that it's about EverGrow. We can make it about crypto in general too. But what if you can educate people within the wallet through maybe some way to link to videos that are on the EGC site, and they're actually on the official EGC Twitter, or on or X, or YouTube or whatever, and then they can go directly to there. And now you're engendering trust, right? This product is teaching me, it's providing me with education, and it's for my benefit. It's not just a service and making money off of me, right? And I think if you could do that for people and you provide value, and then more people are likely to talk about it, share it with their friends, and use it. They're going to put their money into it because they trust it.
Gerson has his hand up, but didn't Cody, Rocket, or Paul or Sam say that there were going to be tutorial videos made?
I believe so. I believe so. Somebody correct us if we're wrong on that one. Herson, go ahead.
Yes, I've been thinking and saying that, and I have mentioned that before. It would be great if we turn a Atlas Wallet or somewhere in EverGrow site to turn that into the Wikipedia of crypto, a definition, a video about something, so people can go straight to the website and find the meaning. Somebody would have to do a lot of research on Google and find, but once it's there, it's there. I have, thank God, I would say a decent following on Facebook, like almost 70,000. But I would like a Atlas, because, and also thank God I was a teacher in my country, so I think I can explain it, but I need the materials. In this case, would be Atlas Wallet, because once you start telling people, you have to swap and this and that, it becomes like complicated. So, but if you can explain to them, this is a wallet, and this is how you buy. You deposit, all that thing. Uh, I would like that. Like, I cannot wait for Atlas Wallet for me, and to be able to see it, and then make a planification, a video, how I can bring this to my followers on Facebook.
Yeah, I completely agree. Make it easy. Make it educational, so that you engender that trust, right, in the product, because that's going to be our biggest hurdle at the beginning. I mean, obviously, people in here, we follow the project pretty close. We trust the people that are in the team. And so I know I don't have any problem downloading Atlas Wallet at all. But to somebody who doesn't know EGC, doesn't know what the utilities are, they might be skeptical at first, right? Here I am downloading this thing. Is it safe? Is my crypto safe? Are they going to move, if maybe they already have a crypto wallet, are they going to import their wallet within to Atlas? That will be the test, right? I don't know if there's going to be any way to measure that, to see how many people bring in over time, how many people import wallets, or anything like that. I don't know if that's possible or not, but I agree with you. I think that's a lot of work that we've got to do, but now's the time to do it. Education and build that trust and build that relationship with people. So I'm willing to get started.
Okay, me too. I love working with you. We don't have to wait for EverGrow to do the marketing campaign. We can do our own.
I agree. Yeah, let's get to it. I think, what we were talking about, like what the first video should be. Why not, rather than how to buy, why not just what it is, and how it all works together. And I know Crypto Control has done some of those videos in the past, but when people see a 10-month-old, year-old video, a lot of people get the impression that, well, that's old news. It's not relevant to me today. But if you can produce newer content, right, and then maybe a week from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, we just update it, get an updated. Where are we in this kind of utility? Where oh, okay, well, 6 months ago you said you were going to produce this utility, and it's out now. And then they're building on this utility. Oh, yes, it's out now. And then of course I'm going to do that anyway through the spaces. But if we can do that in videos too, what is Lucro? What is EverGrow? How do the utilities work? And how do they benefit? Now, I don't know. Do you think they should be a shorter format, or do you think it should be a very comprehensive video? What do you guys think?
Both.
Okay, we can do both. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And the nice thing about YouTube is it's a visual format, so you can have both, kind of the audio and then the video kind of counterpart to show how it all works together. I like it a lot. I'm excited. So. But if you guys want to get started too, by all means, and we can share each other's content around. And yeah, that's great. Great idea, man. I appreciate it. Any other ideas? Let the creative juices flow. That popped into your head there, CWP, by all means. If you got other things floating around in there, I'm more than happy to start working on it. Just typing up their notes real quick, just so I don't forget. How about you, Hersan? Is there anything else you'd like to see in terms of video education, kind of for marketing, any things that you think would be good? Obviously, when Atlas Wallet comes out, there's going to be some pretty heavy marketing on that. So I think, and I'm pretty excited to start that. How about you, Bard? For you getting into crypto at the beginning, well, first of all, how long ago did you get into crypto? Was it within the last few years, or imagine EGC wasn't the first one, was it?
Actually, it was. EGC was my very first. And the only reason why I got into it is because somebody had put together a PDF that was extremely easy to follow. And I was able to follow it step by step without any issues, without any questions. And they made it easy. And, it's worth throwing in $100 to try it out. And then after I was able to get in, then I started doing research on what it was that I just bought because I had no idea. I just knew it was crypto. And started doing some research, and that's when I decided maybe I should throw in more money. So, yeah, that's how I got in. I think we need simple guides, step by step. Something that leaves no assumptions, answers all the questions, and is simple to follow. I'm not talking a 25-page PDF. I'm saying a single page type of sheet that you can go from step 1 through 8 and be sure to get your crypto in the end of it.
Yeah, I agree. If you keep it simple for people to understand, that's the best way to go. I don't know if you guys have heard of this before, where to get around the slippage issue, I've heard of people talking about instead of buying, let's say, you know how typically, let's say you want to buy $100 worth, right? You put in that $100 worth, you know, let's just say you have 100 of BNB, and it says, okay, well, for that amount, you're going to get, let's say, I don't know what the going rate is now, 1.6 billion EGC. But it's like never exactly a full zero, right? Somebody had told me that if you made it like let's say 2 billion, like with all zeros, or 1 billion, or you can defeat this kind of slippage issue. Have any of you guys have experience with that at all?
I have been able to get by the slippage issue by setting decimal places after the value. If you do like a 0.0000, it'll bypass the slippage issue.
So you put the 0.0000, where do you put that? In the slippage?
And the number of coins that I'm purchasing.
Okay, so let's say you're going to buy 2.5 billion, but you put 2.5 billion decimal 0000, and then that would defeat it?
Yeah, that's what I've done.
Interesting. I wonder if we should do a video about that. You know what I mean? Just to make it simple. Just a little side thing.
Do you do 5.0000 and a numeral like a 1, or just a string of zeros?
No,
And
I
what?
just do a string of zeros, and it's usually just 3 zeros.
Interesting. Do you know
Interesting.
why
Yeah,
that
why
works?
wouldn't the system just take those zeros and compress them into nothing? It doesn't make sense, but so there must be some kind
Well,
of
crypto
glitch
doesn't
in the
make any
system.
sense.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gerson. Appreciate it.
Yes, I had that issue at the beginning, and my brother told me the same thing. Like, if it's, let's say, 2 billion numbers, put like just 2 billion, right? So, what I've been doing lately, and it works fine, let's say it's 2,570,000, and the last number is 6, I put 5. I put one less than the number it's showing. If it's 4, I put 3. If it's 2, I put 1, and it works fine.
But do you put in anything after the decimal, like 0.000?
Uh, uh, Sorry, I don't understand the question. I mean, I understand the question, but
So
the numbers.
so Bart had talked about, let's say if you're going to buy 1.5 billion, right?
Yes.
But you just put 1.5 billion, and then after that you put like decimals, 3 zeros, right? You don't do anything like that?
No, what I do, let's say I'm gonna buy $100, right? Because when I put, let's say, it gives me 1.5 billion, but with numbers at the end. If I put 000, in reality, I was just buying like 70 something or 85, and not the full $100. Minus the fee. Now, if I'm buying 92, after you pay the fee, $100 minus the fee, and I have left $92 worth of BNB. Now I can get that exactly just by changing the last number. No, I don't put decimal. If it gives me, let's say, 2,500 something, and the last 3 are 678, I just put 77 at the end. Like I put it down from 8 to 7, from 7 to 6, and that works fine. And I get to buy the full amount of, worth of BNB. I don't know if that helps.
So just to like I went on to PancakeSwap, right? I put in 0.5 BNB, and right now that's worth looks like 2.519 billion, and it goes to 0.051990. So you would change that to 51989.
Oh, no, I
The
don't change the BNB amount. I change the
EGC amount.
exactly, yeah. No, the BNB. Now,
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
can,
that's the same thing I do.
yeah, I can, because I try to keep BNB there. But just to make it clear, if I buy $100 worth of BNB, I don't change that unless you want to buy less. If you want to buy less, then you play with those numbers until you see. But even if in my case, even if I do, and I do, because I try to keep some BNB left, it won't allow me to buy the EverGrow or Lucro or any coin unless I change that last number. Before that, I had so much trouble going through the slippage, like if it's 50, if it's this or that. Now I just keep everything the same and change the last number from 5 to 4, from 3 to 2, and so on. It works fine for me so far.
If it's a 0, then you change it to 9, or do you
If it's a
change it
0,
to?
then I go to the next number, and if it's 3, let's say 730, then I change the 3720.
Gotcha. Interesting. Anybody in the audience there, if they use this trick at all? Just give me a thumbs up if you already knew about this and this is a tool you're using, or you're not. If you're not aware, give me a thumbs down. It was really fascinating. I wasn't aware of this. Here I've been fighting with freaking slippage, trying to figure it out, and all I do is to put it at 6%, and then it was fine, right? Sometimes, Jack knows
I
about
keep
it.
mine at 1%, and I set the BNB amount, or if I'm doing BUSD, I set the BUSD amount and pick EGC or Lucro, it doesn't matter, and keep the slippage at 1%. And whenever it calculates whatever the total amount that I'm going to get, then I put the 0.000 on there and click the swap button, and away I go.
So there's more than one way to skin a cat from the looks of it. Interesting. So you can either lower the last number. If it's a 0, then you got to go to the previous number. So in this case, it's 990. So I would do like 980 or something like that. But the easiest way for me, it seems to just put the decimal 000 after it, and then that should work. Interesting. That's a good workaround. I like it. Until we get Atlas Wallet anyway. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. And so back to, maybe I'll do a video about slippage. I don't know, that's kind of interesting. So yeah, so we'll make, if you guys have ideas for this kind of, what is EGC and what is Lucro and all that stuff, and we'll make a couple of variations. And Jacko says, I've only done it the way Bard does it, with a decimal 000. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. So if you have ideas on, again, this is stuff that's going to be visible for weeks, months, potentially years that we can add to, but it just helps get the word out there. And it's new content. New content tends to, unless you're looking for something very specific that has a lot of views, then YouTube will push that to the top. But in this case, we don't really have a lot of new content for Lucro or EverGrow, other than what, the spaces that I put up in YouTube and all that stuff. So, and the more content we put up there, the better, and spread the word, and everybody benefits from it.
I would advise trying to keep your video short, like 10 to 15 minutes, because the majority of YouTube viewers are not going to want to sit through an hour and a half video. So if you want to cover a lot of content, break it up.
I agree. Yeah, and even do a short version. I think the one staking video I did it a very, very short period of time. Let me look at the length of it right now while I've got it. That was, how long was that one here? I think it was like a minute or something. It wasn't very long, but it seemed to be pretty popular.
And if you can do any kind of cartoon animation, maybe you can get the kids to start watching it.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
As an addition to all of this, YouTube Shorts, which are 15 seconds, if we could put together shorts like that are just one little touch, and a whole bunch of those are easily monetized. It only takes about 1,000 followers for you to start getting paid by YouTube. So there's another little Benny.
Yeah, and shorts right now on YouTube are being heavily promoted, and just because they're trying to compete with Instagram. So yeah, that video I did for
TikTok.
And TikTok, exactly. Yeah, that one I did for Brew Labs was 1 minute and 50 seconds, so very short, and a lot of people seem to like it. So yeah, any other ideas? I love it. I love these ideas. Fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, in combination with the regular marketing, I think it can do wonders. Carson, I was going to ask you earlier when I forgot to follow up on it, but do you think your boss got into crypto because he saw the money that was being made in it? Because you'd been talking about it for a while, and he was gonna, yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't, that guy's just gonna scam you your money or something, but then, was it because of Doge specifically that, or was it the market in general, the macro market that he was seeing the money that was being made, and that's why his perception of crypto changed?
Well, I would come every morning happy and would tell him, "Hey, remember now it's up, and I put this, and now I'm making this, and I didn't know what I was saying. I feel bad because after that, after we both made money in Dogecoin, right? Uh, it went down because then the bear market came. So, but at that moment, we both were happy, and he was like, "Man, I wish I believed you." And I said, "I told you." So I think it was the that he saw I was making money. That's what attracted him to. He heard about crypto before, but he didn't believe it, you know. And that's what I think when people see the rewards from EverGrow, Lucro, and that it's working, it's gonna go by itself. In the sense that people trust results. No matter if it's a scam, people trust results. Now, I'm not saying it's a scam, I'm saying because he didn't believe me. He was every day, not just, like I said, not believing me, speaking against that. Like, don't believe that. And he went little by little. Man, it was extraordinary, the change. He went from, I don't believe in that, guys, don't trust him, that's garbage, to he made money, And I told
Do you
him,
remember? Go ahead, finish.
uh, well, he didn't understand the market because if he didn't understand crypto and didn't believe it, didn't do his research, I don't think he understood like market and all that. So I think it was the fact that he saw that I was making profit. I think that's why, he didn't want to, he was FOMO in without even knowing.
Do you remember those people were tweeting about their reflections, and people who had some pretty significant bags were, tweeting like their reflections for that day, and it was pretty insane. I remember that being, even though I didn't have anywhere near as many tokens as they did, but I remember seeing like here's people outside of myself that are benefiting from EverGrow, and it's kind of a, like you said, like, it's it's provable, it's one of those things where, you have faith in it because you see people are benefiting. And so you're more likely to get into it because you know it's working. So I was impressed by that when I saw people were making, $100, $200 a day, $1,000 a day on reflections. Obviously that was all-time high volume, right? But still it was
I
like,
was hugely jealous.
yeah.
I wasn't very pleased at all seeing those
Man,
numbers.
and after that, after I sold my Dogecoin, my profit, I was so happy, and I said, man, if I had known about this long before, I would have been rich by now. Because the same amount that I put in Dogecoin back then, I would have done it the same, but when it was like nothing. And I said to myself, this will never happen to me. Like, and ever since I'm trying to find a project where I can be like early. But for me, I discovered EverGrow in the high. But I've been, DCAing ever since because at this point it's like I'm early, you know. So
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize too is that they think that, we had our shot at it and it happened and it's done and it'll never happen again. And I think it's fair that people would think that because they may not see the potential of it. Like, okay, well, you had your shot, you did it, and that was that. Now it's the next project that's going to experience that, that kind of that big win. Um, And I'm not going to say that other projects won't experience those at all, but I believe that EverGrow will have its time again. I have no doubt in my mind. How that
Yes.
happens, in my mind, how that happens is the utilities. Utilities is going to be the way forward. The reduction of the tax was probably one of the smartest moves. I'm kind of sad to see it because I knew that 14% was the mechanism for which we made, the 8%, right? But I also understand that that's a barrier for a lot of people in a bear market to commit to 14% loss on one end and potentially the 14% loss on the other end, right? So for them, they may be like, well, how long is it going to take me before I see 30% to break even, roughly? 28, obviously, but I think utilities going forward is going to be the way because utility is the driver, the mechanism for the buyback and burn. It's working with Lucro and the volume of Lucro for buyback and burn. Eliminating that circulating supply, burning it, and then using profits after that to build on the existing system that we have to fuel new utilities, new investment, and also to reward holders. And I just think, it's going to happen again. The question becomes when. Is it a year from now? Is it 6 months from now? Is it 2 years from now? 5 years from now? I don't have the answer for that, but I believe it will happen. Go ahead, Ursan.
Yes, I want to share this. See, for Lucro, I wanted to get in before the pre-sale or the first, that first sale. I couldn't get it, so I bought some when it was available for me, but I kept DCAing on the way down. Now I'm up like 3 times my investment. So uh, when it was down, to me it's like, okay, I'm early, even better because those who bought when it was, at the beginning, uh, it was cheaper, like a month or two ago. It was cheaper than that. So in my mind, it was like, okay, I believe in the fundamentals. I believe in this team. Let me just put what I can every weekend, and because I'm early, and I feel like CWP that you wanted the price to go up every
Sorry,
time.
after you said
You
CWP,
wanted.
you started breaking up.
Oh, he said something that you want the price to go up, keep low for a while until you meet your goal. You know, and I wish I was be able to put more money into Lucro, but my rule is once, like I put money on the way down, and if it goes up over my first, my investment, then I don't put more. So, but for EGC, yeah, I keep putting more money whenever I can, and this is what I want to share too. One thing I understood, and I was sharing this with my brother who I talked to about crypto. I said, hey, listen, some people might put some money, right? And they say, oh, if this reaches a dollar, I don't know how much I'm going to have. It is important to put what you're willing to lose, but I also have to understand this. In the next bull market, I might not meet my goal, like I'm gonna retire, because you have to position yourself now in the bear market. So in the bull market, you meet your goal. Or it might take you 2 or 3 bull market, depending on how much you put now. So that's why once you find that project that you believe in, put what you can, but try to position yourself money wise, because if you put $100 in a project with 3 zeros, and you say, well, when it reaches this point, I might retire, but that point it might take you 2 or 3 bull runs, you know. But if you put enough and you say, well, if it reaches this point, then I'm okay. So I need to put this amount of money to be able to reach that goal when this project hits this price, you know, because I've seen this. And I said, when people say, oh, no, that's a scam because I put money and I lost it. No, not necessarily. It went down because you have to understand. That's me, talking to them. You have to understand this, the market. The market has cycles. I have to teach that to my wife because, she believes in the stock market. And I said, yeah, but that happens too in the stock market. It has up and down. You just have to understand that. So if somebody put $1,000 in the bull market, in a month or two, the bear market comes, of course it's gonna go down because that's how it works. You didn't lose your money. So you just have to understand that. Now in the next bull market, if you don't put enough of certain, on a certain project, and that project hits a number, if you didn't position yourself money wise, you're not gonna retire in this next bull market. And that's what I've been doing with Lucro, EGC. I'm trying to position myself so when the next bull market hits, I don't know retire, but I want to be in a good position. So that's why I like to add on the way down. I don't like to, FOMO in. I don't know if that's the
Yeah,
right
I feel
word.
the same way. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I don't really generally buy on the way up anymore, just because unless I've got a lot of disposable, money that I can just say, okay, yeah, I don't mind. But I'm kind of like you, where I buy when it's down. If it drops, I'll buy a little more. If it drops, I'll buy a little more. Typically, I don't feel bad about Lucro or EverGrow when it goes down, just because I feel like it's an opportunity because I don't really doubt the project. I don't doubt the team or anything like that. The market is kind of driving things right now, and until we have utilities to prove that we're doing things differently. But and I have nothing against Bitcoin. I have nothing against Ethereum. I think they're fine. But to make a 3x on your Bitcoin from 30,000, it's got to go to 90, right? That is not an easy feat to do in a bull market, even a bear market. You know what I mean? Like that's tough. It's a lot of money. But when you go from 5 zeros to 4 zeros, that's a 10x. You know what I mean? Considering if it's like 4 zeros 1 or or 5 0 1 or 4 0 1, that's a 10x right there. And then after that, anything above that, you're getting into the 100x territory, and you're sub penny, right? Here you are investing in a startup crypto project, right? When right now EverGrow is in the 7 zeros for something, right? And at all time high, we're at the 5 zeros 3 territory. I mean, even if we got to a fraction of that in a year, I mean, that is a massive success as an investment. For Lucro, if we went to potentially 2 zeros 9, right? I mean, you're almost a penny right there. For a lot of people, that's retirement right there. That's not really a lot of options for most people. And if you guys haven't figured it out by now, you guys aren't normal. Most people, most of the money has pulled out of the market. Most of the speculative investors in DeFi have pulled out of the market. They're sitting on the sidelines. We're here, we're still in it, and we're investing. We're still investing. That's, in my opinion, what the smart money is. The people who are still in it, still grinding, still investing, still putting in their hard-earned money, even though they don't have a lot to put in there. They're still, and then that will pay dividends when the bull market comes around. That's my personal feeling on it, and I don't doubt it for a second because well, again, it's tough to invest when your investment's down. It really is, because you look at it and you're like, oh my God, you're in the red, and but think of all that exuberance that comes in when the market goes up, and you're kicking it back, and you're like, yeah, I'm comfortable with what I got. You know what I mean? And everybody else is FOMOing in on the project, and you're sitting back and you're like, yeah, well, I'm already ahead. I'm already 10x, so I'm not worried. I'm going to sell maybe 20%, and then just let the other 80% ride, and I'm good. You know what I mean? And I don't need to look at the chart every day. So yeah, I think we're not the normal people out there.
I wish I had an income that I could do dollar cost averaging on Lucro and EGC. Ignore the price and just spend the same amount of money every week or every month. Unfortunately, I'm not in that kind of a position. So every time I get a few spare dollars, it gets invested. Um, and I'm not paying attention to the price either, except as long as it stays low, I'm getting more bang for my buck, few dollars that they are.
Yeah, and consider this too, right? Let's say you had 10 million Lucro, you staked it, right? 8%. You're going to get, what is that, 800,000? Am I correct on that? Or is it 800,000 you would get on 10 million staked? I believe that's right. 800,000, right? And at a penny, that 800,000 you got free, that's still worth, what is it, 8,000? That's a pretty good return. So, and that's free tokens. So it's a no-brainer for me. Hopefully I did the math right on that. I think I did. But- And then you're compounding too. So I don't know. I think to do the same thing with EGC, when you stake it, we could have free tokens. Hopefully we can have that feature of compounding as well. And yeah, earning on your tokens and just it's sitting in your wallet anyway. So you might as well benefit from it by staking, you know. And there's not going to be a penalty, which I love. That you can, I mean, I kind of wish there was a lockup period, but it doesn't encourage people, it encourages people to buy and hold. But for whatever reason, the team doesn't want there to be a lockup period. And there's probably a good reason behind it. I don't know what that is, but maybe it makes people feel better that they don't have to, they can stake and unstake at any time. That's great. So those people who want to stake for 6 months to a year, they're going to benefit, or a particular longer, they can benefit from it. I don't know. Out of curiosity, the people that are here, thumbs up if you plan on staking your EGC. Just curious. I know I definitely am. I don't have any reservations. You guys, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thumbs up. And thumbs down if you don't plan on staking your EGC. Jack is
I'm
applauding.
about 50-50.
What would be your reason why you wouldn't stake versus like what's your gut telling you on that
I don't like anybody holding on to my tokens.
That's a fair answer. Yeah, it's fair. Trust Wallet now has staking within their DeFi wallet. I wonder if we'll go that direction with Atlas Wallet, where you can stake within the wallet. That would be pretty interesting. Jacko said, I'm staking for sure, yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you. Like, I didn't like that when I staked my Lucro and Brew Lives, that it comes out of my wallet. I don't like that at all. I wish it was, but that was the nice thing about SHIB is you got like, you got X SHIB, so it's kind of like a placeholder. I did like that part of it. Or you got T-Bone and all that stuff. So it was nice to know you had a placeholder and you didn't forget about it. Not that I ever forget about it, but when you open your wallet, you can still see it's in there. But that's the one aspect of staking I don't like, that it comes out of your wallet and now it's kind of staked on another platform and you're kind of like, oh, where is it? Is it safe? There's all these kind of questions, right? But knowing the team and all that stuff, I don't worry. I didn't see any thumbs down, so maybe people are just indecisive. I think it's really kind of how you sell it to people, and with the APY. The APY will really tell people, I think that would be a big motivating factor. If you saw a 15% APY or higher, even 10 is great, but if you saw, I know Paul had said he wants to make it very attractive. I don't know what that looks like. So, I mean, obviously if I saw 20%, I'd be locking it up, like staking right away. I would take advantage, right? But we'll see what it looks like. With, I think, 12 trillion is available for staking rewards, and I don't know if the team plans on adding more to that. It'd be pretty fantastic if they did. So we'll see. Yeah. What do you think, CWP? Are you going to stake yours, or you're not sure yet?
I'm probably going to stake it, but I also agree I don't like it leaving my wallet. But so when Atlas Wallet comes out, I'm sure that I will. Um, Interestingly, I haven't been able to make Brew Labs work for me on Lucro, or I probably have staked my Lucro.
Did you go through? Do you use Trust Wallet?
Yes, Trust Wallet.
Do you use the browser within Trust Wallet?
I haven't. No.
Do that. Go into the browser in Trust Wallet go to brewlabs.info, I think it is, and then connect your wallet. And
Okay.
then what it'll do is it'll give you the option to select Ethereum or BNB. And then what'll happen at the bottom left, you'll see the symbol that'll pop up for like BNB. 9 times out of 10, it always is Ethereum. And you click on that little picture of Ethereum, and then another window will open up and you select BNB. And then you'll be good. Then you can stake it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have trouble, let me know. And if something you want to do,
All right.
and I'm more than happy to walk you through it.
All right, thanks. News flash, Trump has been, I don't know if the word is exposed, but has $250,000 in ETH.
Really? I never would have pegged him for crypto. I mean, I know he's got the NFTs and making money off NFTs, but that's interesting. $250,000 in ETH, huh?
250,000, you know.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah. That's I don't know. Being a millionaire though, I thought he'd have more, but why ETH? Why not Bitcoin? Interesting, huh? Maybe because of the NFTs. Maybe that's because he made a lot of money off those NFTs. You know, the Trump ones. People have made a lot of money off those things.
Yeah,
When
you
I
did.
first came out, I was kind of like, I'm gonna buy those. No, they're not gonna be worth anything. And sure enough, some of them are worth a lot of money. I should have. It's kind of
Yeah,
like Bitcoin. When you first heard about Bitcoin, you're like, why would anybody buy that, right?
I was the same way. Who's going to buy those? Oh, of course, those people that are loyal are going to buy them.
100%. Yeah, and they some people were holdouts too, and they make and the floor price was pretty volatile too. And that was kind of interesting. But yeah, a lot of people made money on them. So just goes to show you. But he has a pretty big following, so it doesn't surprise me that they're popular in retrospect, right? But at the time, I was like, nah, I don't know why anybody would buy those things. But it goes to show you. Yeah, anything else you guys want to talk about? I got my mind just going about these Lucro videos and EGC videos now, and try to make it real simple and short. And if any of you guys want to participate in that, or you have ideas, go ahead and shoot me a DM, and or reach out to me on Discord or whatever you like here. Or I'm more than happy to kind of entertain. And if you guys, like I said, have ideas about it, just want to reach the maximum amount of people and share that knowledge with people, so that when we do start to take off, that information is out there. We're not chasing it, trying to get info out to the people. I have a feeling the team will do their own thing on the LunaSky page with how-to videos on that, and then the EGC page. I'm sure there'll be videos on that, for everybody. But we can still do our own thing as a community, which is what we're good at. So, like I said, if you have ideas, let me know. Anything else you guys want to talk about for the day? It was great having you guys here today. I'm sorry I couldn't bring you up today, Rocket. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hopefully Cody's having a great weekend. And if you guys have nothing else you guys want to bring up, we can go ahead and, that was another thing too. I got a pop up by Gerson there about the EverGrow Sam scams that are out there. There's fake EverGrow Sams going around there, and I reported them this morning. I saw my first one on Discord this morning, and it was like an EverGrow Sam with a SAAM or something like that. And so I went and did the identity reporting, where somebody was trying to assume the identity of another person. And that seemed to, I don't know if it was just me or collectively other people, but we took down 2 of them today. The one was EverGrow SAAN, the other one was EverGrow Sam with an NN after it or something like that. So if you see those, some of them had a lot of followers. So if you see those, we'll go ahead and report them and keep an eye out for them. The EverGrow Pauls, they're a dime a dozen, man. Good luck with that. They're everywhere. Actually, I'm going to go look right now and see if there's any new EverGrow Pauls out there, because there's at least 10 of them before. And I see EverGrow Paul, EverGrow PA 63385 is still there. I reported that this morning. And the EverGrow Pauls one looks like the count was restricted. So it looks like somebody already got to them. But
Where are the fake rockets?
yeah, is that when you know you made it? When you get let's see if there's
No fake Codys either, I've seen for a
yeah,
while.
no kidding. Let's see, Rocket Labs AI, Rocket I see Rocket Lab, but it's a different thing. Let's see if we can find a Cody on here. Cody Black. No, nothing else there. But I guess that's when you know you're popular, when you get somebody doing fake accounts on you, right? Let me just go show you. Well, guys, if you have nothing else for today, we can go ahead and call this one short. And looking forward to the next one, of course. Hopefully we get some new up-to-date news about LunaSky, see where we're at with that. I'm super excited. And like I said, thanks for joining us today, this weekend. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend and a nice, good week. And we'll see you again this same time, same place. Thank you, guys. Thank you, CWP. Thank you, Bard. Person, appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Steve.
Take care, and bye for now.